Oh, what was that behind that black fade in? All of a sudden, it's us here, Talen.
I'm here. I'm a goblin. I'm Foxley.
And we're going to talk about the anime we watched from the season that just passed because it's done now. And I believe in looking at things in their totality instead of looking at the first 2 or 3 episodes and buying into anime franchises on hype.
And I believe in not having to wait a week between episodes.
I don't know why, but weekly watching... Like, there's a whole generation of millennials who are like, oh, I miss when it was a weekly release schedule. Like, you're stupid. You're all stupid and wrong. All of you.
I have a theory on that, because shows getting ported to Australia were always, like, laggy or scrambled or completely out of order, or once the internet age happened, just pre-spoiled.
Yeah.
So I just think there was never the same kind of appeal for Aussie kids for the most part.
I think it's because the kind of people who miss having a week-to-week discussion about a TV show are boring people who have nothing more interesting to talk about than what was on last night's episode of The Office.
I was going to say, who mostly miss high school.
Ah,
An experience that you and I definitely cannot relate
what the
to.
hell is that? All right, well, that's enough just slagging off the audience to start with. Let's get on to the spoiler warning. And I've avoided this time... Oh no, I've avoided this time. Please ignore that warning from Google.com. I have avoided the problem that happened last time where I put a spoiler warning in for stuff that I didn't watch and wasn't going to talk about. So this time it's just stuff that's actually here.
Don't worry, we're not going to spoil anything we're not actually going to talk about. Hooray!
Spoiler warning for...
This!
City of the Animation.
Oh, you actually wanted me to read them
Some
out.
people are going to hear this.
Yeah, okay. Milky Subway, Galactic Limited Express.
Which watch?
Bad Girl.
My Dress Up Darling.
Secrets of the Silent Witch.
See you tomorrow at the food court.
There's no freaking way I'll be your lover unless... ...
Ruri Rocks.
The summer Hikaru died.
And Shirley.
With you and the rain.
Betrothed to my sister's ex.
Such a bad name. DanDaDan Season 2.
And Turkey, Time to Strike.
Oh, that big spoiler warning for that one.
Alright, we ready?
I think we're ready.
What we're going to do here is, we're going to tell you what this thing is, we're going to give you a brief synopsis, and then we're going to talk about our feelings about this, and I have no idea how long this is going to go, because essentially, I am hanging out with my best friend,
Yeah.
and there's a microphone here.
Alright, I'm going to stay on task and do a sensible synopsis for everything.
Also, most of these have been randomized, so don't think I'm
Oh.
giving you any bullying by the order I've put them in.
Oh, fun.
Like last time I gave you the Gorilla Girl as the first thing, and you're like, oh, well, that's a terrible title.
You just wanted me to scream immediately.
City, the animation.
Okay, this is... I'm gonna summarize this as a weirdo slice of life anthology series. It's ironic, you did give me the hardest one to summarize right up front.
It wasn't intentional.
This is effectively anime skit comedy.
Yeah.
We have elements of continuing plots as well, but it's more like when a skit show introduces a bit and then it gets repeated or back referenced in the next skit.
Yeah.
And it's roughly centered around the lives of these three friends here in our example graphic, I'm gonna say.
Known as the Mont Blanc Trio, because they go to Mont Blanc University.
They do.
At City.
Can I remember their names? They are, Nikara is the brunette with the pink shirt.
Yep.
Nagamo, not Yagamo, it's the one in the blue hoodie.
Yep.
And the last one is, I think, Wako.
Yes, you got all three.
Yeah, there you go. I'm normally quite bad with names in animes.
This is deeply unfair to Fox because I have the presenter view, so I have the notes that I took, and one of the things I thought is, I'm going to need to write all these names down.
And down in the corner is the cunning and elusive Tsuchinoko.
Except they no one can see the Tsuchinoko but you, because...
What?
Because
He's tricked me!
on the display,
My goblin's in
you're
front of me.
covering the Tsuchinoko.
Alright, well then, in that case, there is no Tsuchinoko on screen, and I don't know why you think there is one.
I've done it to you again because I just faded out our avatars so everyone can see the Tsuchinoko. And now I'm putting the avatars back.
Revealed! Quick, hide behind me, it's fine, you're safe.
Oh, that was not intended to happen that way. But that's what City of the Animation is like.
Yeah, we have a few focal groups of characters. We got a couple of school best friends who are just, like, delightful and wholesome.
Echan and Mitsuri.
We've got kind of an old man club who all run various shops or restaurants or something around town and occasionally hook up for old man fun. We've got a couple of very weird romances.
I gave you such a hard place to start with the synopsis.
Occasionally, we are reminded that a bunch of these characters are also in the same huge family, and it becomes a family thing rather than a peer groups thing. It's, I mean, it doesn't really need more of a synopsis
No.
if you're not into anime sketch comedy with incredibly, like, just surreal nonsense around every corner.
Yep.
Then you don't want this, but you probably want this because this is fucking great.
This anime is based on the manga City by Keiichi Araui, who is the creator of the anime Nichijou. And it was animated by Kyoto Animation, who animated Nichijou.
You don't say.
Look, we don't show clips of the anime we're watching ever since the first time I tried doing that, and I got so many content blocks and just had
Fuck's sake.
personal grudges against a whole bunch of different anime studios. Whoever is responsible for specifically Apothecary Diaries, I don't like you. But
I was hoping it was going to be something we didn't like, so I could be like,
No.
it's not even good enough to justify that.
oh no, all the shit anime were happy for me to share clips of them. It's the good ones that are like, how dare you? We will monetize your conversation with your wife. But City Animation is incredibly well animated.
Oh, it's fan-fucking-tastic. It's stylistically, I mean, this graphic is very true to what is in the actual show, including the brightness and the simplicity and the fucking isometric angle.
The clear bold lining as well. It doesn't look like any other anime this season. It doesn't even look really like Nichijou. It looks
Doesn't
like
look like any other anime ever.
it looks like Nichijou's digivolved form. It looks like it ate Nichijou and evolved into a higher level.
It's true. And like, Nichijou is very good, but I did definitely like this better.
Yeah. This one was a real hard one to start with a summary of because there's no coherent... well, there is a coherent plot, but like it's very, very
There are like
atomized.
12 coherent plots.
Yeah. But this is a comedy anime where I laughed out loud repeatedly. It is really very, very funny stuff. I liked it a lot. Every character is delightful. It doesn't have one of the problems that I have with a lot of sitcoms, which is to say, oh, it's this guy again.
There was much less of, like, what normally loses me about comedies is that sooner or later a lot of them deteriorate into what if you were assholes.
Yeah.
And this had a surprising lack of the punchline is somebody's an asshole.
Yeah. There's a lot of this, the punchline is someone who shouldn't be a weenus is a total weenus.
Yep.
There's quite a bit of that.
And there's a lot of just, oh no, your friend is so cringe.
Mm-hmm. And in a lot of ways, the amount of effort used to depict these extremely tedious things is part of it. Like the over animation of mundane actions.
Yeah.
The degree to which people have tried so hard to do something as simple as open a door. It is a really special kind of animated comedy because the fact that it is animated is part of what makes it funny, because it isn't just a matter of like, we have an actor who's really good at this particular performance. Some of these shots, it's like, yeah, we have 7 shots on screen at the same time. Every single one of them is being animated by someone. People have put a lot of work into making every single part of this shot work. If you were to animate a Where's Waldo picture, everyone knows there are places you cut corners because no one cares and there's no joke to be made with that.
He means where's Wally for everyone who is confused by that.
Yeah. In City, there is a sequence where they show you characters in atomized, like little blocks doing stuff, and then they slowly pan out and it becomes a Where's Oddlaw style picture with everything happening and all of these sequences happening, and they're all telling jokes.
That shot in particular was incredible because it also came together from the disparate scenes that were all happening at the same time. Which, like, I was losing my shit during that sequence because I was trying desperately to pay attention to everything.
Real bad for ADHD goals.
A little bit.
And
but when you realize that they have all now zoomed out to the same angle and the borders are going to disappear, it's like, ah!
And it does
What
also
a
have
moment.
my favorite thing to complain about in an anime recently, which is a mangaka written by a mangaka complaining about how making manga is just the hardest thing in the world.
Yeah, it may have come up a few times this season.
But in City, at least the joke appears to be, what a goddamn weenus he is.
I will say the mangaka and editor plotline was my least favorite thing to focus on in this show, but they didn't take up too much time compared to most of the other elements. So
No,
this
but
didn't bother me
also
that much,
it
ultimately.
intersects with Wako, and it shows that Wako has stuff going on that isn't just teasing the girlfriends. I liked it a lot. I hate those two characters. They can jump in a lake, but I do still really like what they did with them in a lot of places, especially the special effects sequences, because there's so much joyful animation. I'm just gonna keep repeating myself. It's very hard to.
Yeah, it's fun that this is so simplistically rendered, and if it were less skillfully animated, it wouldn't work nearly as well. Like the fact that something which looks like a a picture book.
Mm-hmm.
It looks very simple. That it's almost a joke in and of itself that it is so beautifully produced. And it just, I don't know, for me it adds a whole nother level of enjoyment to it.
I'm going to complain a lot overall about a thing which I'm phrasing these days as, why aren't I watching something with laser swords and wizards? Where the anime that has been good enough to hold my interest for a protracted period of time is not about the kinds of things I wish more anime were about, because the kind of things I want to be watching are generally being made as cheap slop. This is something that absolutely unequivocally never made me go, I could be watching laser wizards right now.
I mean, there are probably laser wizards in here somewhere.
Probably.
There were definitely laser robots.
Yes. OP is also a banger.
Oh, yeah. I think that's probably my favorite for this season.
Mm-hmm.
What a good time. I don't even know what genre to call it, but it's great fun.
Good.
I also specifically want to shout out the two school friends, because
Echan and Matsuri.
And they telegraph where that's going pretty early on, and we were like, they're going to make this into a joke. Like, it's going to be a big, serious, dramatic thing, and they're going to make it into a joke. And they fucking didn't. And all the time we spend with these two characters is just a pair of friends always being happy to be around each other, and it's so sincere that it genuinely got me to cry a couple of times in the middle of this absurd nonsense. And they're part of the absurd, not like they do absolute nonsense stuff.
It is very funny by being sincere and without diminishing the funny, without the sincerity of it.
Yeah, and it's so powerful in the midst of everything else that's going on that it really just gets me right there.
Yeah. Anyway, we good?
Yeah.
We're going to move on real quick.
Real good show. You should watch it.
Which watch? The second core.
I see you putting in the Romachi like I need to read that.
You asked me to put the Romachi in.
Yeah. Oh, wait, I'm doing summaries. Sorry, I forgot.
It's okay. We're all doing your best.
Well, anyway, this is a second core, and we talked about this in our previous video, and very little has changed. This is a romantic comedy, magic witch school life ensemble at this point. We have a central girl who is a witch, but something dangerous is fated to happen to her.
Do you want the names?
I know their names.
Okay, just checking.
Nico! It's Nico! It's fucking Nico!
Yep.
See? I know. She's a witch. Something terrible is gonna happen to her. So her childhood friend, Moi, who is descended... Morihito, yeah. She calls him Moi.
That's fair.
That's his name. Who is descended from an ogre, is recruited to protect her. And from there, they proceed to accrue a bunch of other guys who are some kind of cool fantasy thing filtered into a mostly human Gijinka form. And increasing layers of like, well, maybe we'll pair these two up and have them kiss. But the fundamental of like, you know, this couple, they are actually good friends and very sweet, and it is impossible to dislike them. And Morihito is fantastically autistic, and I adore him.
Yeah, the other characters are Kanchi, who's a Tengu, Keigo, who's a werewolf, Nemu, who's a cat, and Miharu, who is the new one for this season, who's a vampire. Last season when we talked about this, I said I thought we were getting Barn this season. I'm wrong. We don't get Barn.
No ban.
Which unfortunately means no giant woman. Grumble, grumble, grumble. So I'm not going to retread much to do with Witch Watch because, you know, it's a sitcom. It's effectively 2 half episodes every episode.
And, like, nothing has really changed about it from last season. We're back to doing wacky stuff, and there's no dramatic climax this season.
Yep.
Well, this course, so...
But there are 2 extra threads that were introduced here, or rather expanded on here. One of which is a Fujo teacher and a Fujo student bonding over their shared love of. The other thread, which is 2 episodes of this season, are just a different anime called Uro Mirage. Which is got full opening and ending. It's got character designs, and I can't believe this, but this is relevant. This is going to be important to the plot of the late manga.
I will say, they didn't spend whole episodes in there.
Half episodes.
But they did do the opening and the closing, and
Yeah.
that was kind of delightful. The second time it came up, I was like, oh, that's why they bothered doing the full OP, because they knew they were going to use it twice.
Yeah.
Oh, they're probably going to use it again.
Yeah. Uro Mirage is really important in the manga. But yeah. Unremarkably great. It's not very challenging. It is a little low in the laser sword category, but also this is a season where you get a lot of like actual delving deeper into the characters. You learn a bit more about what they're like. It's the type of thing it is, and it's got a bit of a brain in its head, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to watch it in the first place. Opening, not really as much of a banger as the first one, but you can only hire Yoasobi once.
That's not true.
That's not true.
You can probably only afford Yoasobi
with this
once.
animation budget, you can only afford to hire her once.
Yes, this is not endowed with a lot of money,
Yeah.
but it has used it mostly quite effectively.
Yeah. And, moving on.
Yeah.
Milky Subway, the Galactic Limited Express.
Ginga Tokyo Milky Subway.
Yeah. This is a weird one because it's on YouTube. You could be watching it right now. In fact, pause this video, go watch it. You'll be back in an hour.
That's true. It's not going to take long.
It's 12 5-minute episodes.
12 5-minute episodes of a bunch of arrested teenagers being sent to do a bit of community service on a somewhat disused galactic subway train, which then goes haywire and tries to kill them all, question mark? You'll never know unless you watch.
It started out as a 3D short by the animation student Yohei Kamiyama in 2022 as Milky Highway.
Oh yeah, it's a sequel technically.
Yeah, and then this whole series came about. It's a real tight little thing. This is I can understand someone going like, well, why are you talking about this in an anime thing? Because like normally the reason to talk about an anime season is like, hey, before you commit to 13 episodes or something, this is what it's worth. But no, you could blow through this in an afternoon without even noticing.
I'm talking about it because I want people to fucking watch it.
Yeah, this thing rules. I
good.
like this so much.
This deserves your attention.
For there's stuff that conventional anime does because of the way it is made. One of the big things is dialogue structures. You notice that when you think about it, most anime has very stage-directed dialogue. A character completes their line before another character speaks. This is a whole host of reasons it's that way, but one of the things about it is that it saves on budget.
I mean, most shows, really. Like, this is not specific to anime. This is just usually scripted dialogue is delivered clearly and doesn't overlap unless somebody is genuinely interrupting somebody else. It's not naturalistic, and we all kind of accept that it's not naturalistic, and that's fine.
But the thing is, in live action media, you have a range of things. There is a degree, a spectrum this lives on. Whereas in anime, it's very, very rare to get this kind of naturalistic back and forth interrupting dialogue. But Milky Subway does it, and it's very funny dialogue as well. And it's coming from characters who start out very anodyne and become incredibly endearing by the end. I really like this whole cast of complete fucking bozos.
We love a bozo anime.
The main characters are Chiharu, who is the red girl with the little pointy antenna.
There's two of those. She's the smaller one.
Oh yeah, it's true. The other one is Akane. And Makina, who is the cyborg girl with the face that's a digital display. It's short, sweet. It's a ghost story. It's a social story. There's a lot of crime dialogue. It's very fun. I don't really have anything more to say about it.
It is, in essence, a disaffected teenagers learning to like... It's a fucking Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
In essence.
Yeah.
Complete with the, you're pushed into this artificial situation because you did something wrong, big finger quotes.
One of them did beat up a cop. Which, ostensibly speaking, if anyone's going to have rules against that, cops would have rules against that.
They probably would, but I don't see how this contradicts my giant finger quotes. Anyway, and that's great because it turns out they're all really likable. Especially Akane, but
yeah,
everyone, definitely.
OP is about 15 seconds long and it rules.
Yeah, that's probably my second favorite this season.
really funny title card jokes.
And goes really well, like the opening and the title screen that go with it are extremely like fucking 1970s VHS.
Yeah.
Retro things and just like perfectly done.
Yeah.
Real good.
This is a real testament to what you can do with a little. It's very thoughtful. You couldn't make something like this without a lot of understanding about what makes this kind of thing good. Despite being small and tight, it's like anti-slop. Anyway,
it is. It's intense. Oh, he's moved on to the next thing. All right. Well, let me just quickly say, as somebody who low-key hates 3D animation, very good because the dialogue is so fucking clever and it's really funny.
Yeah. All right. And that was a rude interruption anyway. I shouldn't have done
that. It was rude. It's fine. Oh, what is that, Talen? You have behaved poorly?
Yes.
Are you trying to become some kind of delinquent?
I don't think I should say that I'm trying to become a bad girl. That will give people the wrong idea.
It definitely will.
Yeah, but bad girl. What's its Japanese name, Fox?
DanDaDan.
Yep.
Well, honestly, you're finding out most of what you need to know about this show from this one picture.
Yep.
A quick summary is, Christ, I have forgotten their names in this one. What's our main girl's name again?
Yutani.
You, thank you. Really, I should have remembered you.
I will remember you.
We have a squishy little pathetic bean of a main character who has recently become obsessed with her leggy, red-headed sex goddess classmate who is the head of the disciplinary committee and, like, definitely in lesbians obsessed, not plausibly deniable at all, just putting it right there.
Atori Mitsutori?
Yes. And has decided that the only way she can possibly get Senpai's attention is to become the kind of delinquent that she would be forced to step in and discipline. Obviously, she is comically bad at this.
Mm-hmm.
And sort of, like, practically stops trying a couple of episodes in.
Yeah.
Because, like, Senpai is just immediately into her and friends with her anyway, so the whole premise kind of...
Yeah.
I wish they pushed it a little harder, frankly. But that is your basic premise. She has a blonde friend who everyone assumes is a badly behaved Garo type.
Suzukaze?
Yeah, but she's just a blonde.
Yep.
And then there's another girl because they needed some more tits in there. So there's a YouTuber who thinks very highly of herself and everyone else is kind of like, who the fuck are you?
That's Ruri.
That's Ruri.
Which this started out as a 4-coma and it shows.
Yeah, that makes sense.
This is by Nikyu Maru and it was published in Manga Time Kiara Carrot. It's technically this is a seinen series. This is like aimed at well, I suspect not that I've looked at it, but I suspect this 4-coma has a lot of tits in it.
This anime has a lot of tits in it.
Yeah.
Like it's we're going to talk about something else later. But this was constantly testing my willingness to put up with its premise by being like just a little bit hornier than I wanted it to be a lot of the time.
It's a little hornier and a little dumber than it needs to be, but look, I use the term anti-slop to refer to Galaxy Express. This is kind of slop. This is not very challenging. It's not pushing animation very hard, but it's there if you are a fan of the stuff it's about, and it'll give you 12 episodes of perfectly good show stuff.
I wouldn't say slop because these days that kind of is starting to have very specific implications.
Good point. That's.
But like it's basic.
Yeah.
It's quite basic. It is not Like, it's not one of those shows you start watching where it's like, well, this seems dumb and horny, and then it's like, haha, got you! I'm actually way smarter than you thought.
Yeah.
I have a second idea in my head. No, this has exactly the ideas it promised going in. So if the premise sounds fun to you, you'll probably like the whole thing.
And like, if you find the girls hot, that's like, you're gonna feel, these are the
I mean,
the
that's
four main
definitely
characters.
part of the premise.
That's all you're gonna see. Look, anime is genre media. And part of the point of genre media as an industry is the whole thing is just putting out work to see if it passes a checklist. And this goes, hey, do you have this many episodes worth of material? Do you have the scripts? Can you produce it for this kind of budget? In which case, sure, we don't actually care that much about anything else you're doing with it.
Can we see some titties?
Which means that it can be, in some cases, very basic, or it can be very complicated. And there's no real guarantee of anything you're getting. Which means for every time I get something that I think is very elevated and I like showing off, I like talking about it, you're going to get some stuff like Bad Girl. And Bad Girl might be the worst show this season that we watched all of. And it's pretty good.
Yeah.
It beats so many other things we put up with in previous seasons.
In a worse season, I would probably have come out of this thinking better of it. But like we were kind of spoiled this season. We got a lot that we enjoyed. And this is definitely mid in the end. It's fine though, and there's nothing wrong with just brainless indulgence, which is exactly what this is.
I'll also give it, and it's embarrassing that this is a novelty, but they're actually gay. Like, this isn't, you know, girls being overwhelmed with each other and then we just stop short of saying it. Like, no, the second episode is about puppy play. This is a horny anime about girls who are horny for each other. And considering how much these are clearly all thinking about sex with one another, I'm surprised it's not more fan servicey. You're still going to see a lot of tits.
It's pretty fancy. You missed the episode where they did humiliation games.
Yeah, but like, it's not Ranma 1/2. You're not going to see naked tits.
See, Ranma's regularly naked, but feels less horny. This is not going to show you nipples, but it's so much hornier.
Anyway, are we good for the next thing?
Yes, I think we can move on.
Yeah, let's move on to something that is also genre media and is also quite elevated.
Now see, perfect comparison, because this is probably just as horny, but it's so much smarter. And
This is
so lusciously produced.
My Dress Up Darling Season 2.
Sono biscudolo wa koi wo suru.
Yes. We've gone over this before, but please, a quick summary.
A quick re-summary. What if Marin Kitagawa, the most incredible girl in school, had an obsession with cosplay and plucked you from the ether? You, Wakana Gojo, a boy who was extremely introverted after being horribly traumatized for his hobby of painting lovely, delicate little dolls, and kind of falling in love with one of them in a weird way. And they became the power couple of the cosplay world because his autism is precisely on the level of sewing anime costumes to excruciating perfection. And her enthusiasm for becoming the character she loves is unparalleled.
Our friend Lex introduced me to the idea of incompatible autisms, which is to say when two people who are both autistic nonetheless do the things they do in ways that precisely grate on one another. And then, with that, the idea of interlocking autism,
Yes.
where two people have... Two autistic people just have a way of communicating with one another that kind of turbocharges everything. And, yeah, I don't think that you can... I think it's pretty reasonable to make a case that Marin and Gojo, it might not be autism, but they do interlock. Talking to my friend Ted, I'm just name-dropping everyone now. Talking to my friend Ted about the anime No More Losing Heroines. We discussed that this is a genre of anime, which normally is, what if a hentai protagonist dropped into your life and suddenly everything was good for you? And, like, I like quite a lot of anime that unfortunately do live, quite a lot of manga that live in this genre. It's not a good place overall. I don't think that it's a particularly remarkable space to put your media in. But I do nonetheless like some things, usually because this is a genre that's really easy to go, here is my special interest, and I want to write a treatise about it, and so I will do a very rudimentary
yes.
romance fiction around it. And that's really, like, that is almost to the ground. What happens with My Dress Up Darling? But the trick with this one is that she has had a hentai protagonist drop into her life, and he has had a hentai protagonist drop into his life. They are both exactly the kind of dream character that the other that they would invent for themselves if they had the imagination to create a horny narrative for themselves. Now, with My Dress Up Darling first season, I mentioned that there are 2 episodes, which is like, you might want to fast forward. They are a bit much, which was the introduction of Juju and the measuring in the second episode. Those are, look, this is a horny anime about teenagers, and as good as it is, and as much as I want to talk to you about how good it is, there's still some stuff that you might be like, let's get past this pretty quickly.
I'm just nodding along in the background.
Yeah, and unfortunately, this season did the same thing. There's also a bit which is like, let's get past that quick.
This definitely lands better for me, and lands better than a lot of other horny teenager anime, because this feels much more real.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that Marin is a literal model.
Yeah.
As well as all of this. So, like, that should be stupid, gratuitous wish fulfillment, but it elevates itself by quality of writing and quality of production. Because, like, I've been a teenager, and they are horny.
Yep.
So, this is not automatically a bad, wrong story. You just have to tell it in a way which doesn't seem gratuitous. Or, like, it's meant to just be an avenue for older pervs to look at horny teenagers.
The other thing is, when this goes into the subject material it's actually about it. This is a cosplay anime that's about cosplay.
Oh, hell yeah! Yeah, we're going to talk about how to hide your boobs, how to get more boobs, how to get less boobs, how to control the boobs.
How to get boobs that you do not have.
How to go buy some boobs. Fabrics, thicknesses, finishes, like surface sheen, and how that factors into the classiness of the image you're trying to project. That was actually a really interesting part of it. Interpreting textures from animated material into real life.
Yeah.
Because that's is an interpretative task. You generally can't just do what's in the anime.
Yeah, and then you're representing that in an anime. So how does an anime represent the real problems of textures that are themselves trying to fake anime?
I got a bit mad at them. There was a point in this where they started talking about body shapes.
Yep.
And, like, you know, not playing a particular character because you don't have the right body for them. And that made me cross, because, like, okay, you can't say it because you're in an anime, but nobody has an anime character's fucking body. That's nonsense. Don't let that get in your way. We also got props in this season.
Props.
I'm so excited for
making props.
We got to see them making fucking eyeballs and shit. It was very cool.
Yep.
I also really liked the expanded cast in this season, because we spent almost all of our time in the first season with just Marin and Gojo.
Yep.
And we meet another couple of characters, but they come and go. They're only really around for a couple of episodes. And in this, we meet much more of the friend group. Mm-hmm. And also just, you know, have people getting to know Gojo in particular, who have previously ignored him because he's been hiding.
Yeah.
And there's just a real warmth to this season, because it's very much about repeating the message of, like, no one should be able to make you feel ashamed for what you like. You're fine, actually. And probably most people aren't judging you the way they think you are anyway. Probably most people are cool with this. Probably most people get it. And that's very endearing.
Yeah, there's one of the things about this series is that it doesn't need to generate things to give the characters anxieties. So it just uses the characters' natural anxieties. And then it has to decide which things to be anxious about matter. So, for example, Marin, we wind up talking about weight in this anime, which is the thing I was like, you might as well skip that. It doesn't.
Yeah, that's my least favorite bit.
But the point where they're talking about weight, that's an anxiety Marin has that relates to her job, and where the people who are coming down on her and going, hey, you need to be mindful of your weight, are people who are employing her in, admittedly, a very bad industry. I don't like it. I don't think it's good. But it's notable.
Modeling might be bad, actually.
Yeah, but it's notable that Gojo isn't doing it, her friends aren't doing it, and her family aren't doing it. it is coming at her from an axis of people who, let's face it, don't actually matter because they're not really people. They're advertisers.
One small tweak. The first person to comment on it is her hairdresser, who is a friend and is not employing her.
I don't think he counts as a friend.
So
I think he counts as an adjacent bitch.
He is a little bit bitchy.
Yeah.
But also he can supposedly tell from her face. And like, no fucking way. Are you looking at the same pictures I'm looking at?
Yeah, clearly not.
Fucking nonsense. Gojo's response is just, well, that's fine. We can make the costumes bigger. Because that's the point where the anxiety really lands. It's not about her job so much as the fact that she finds she can't fit into the first costumes he made for her anymore.
And her thinking is, I've wasted these.
Yeah.
And his thinking is, they're clothes. You were just clothes.
Yeah.
Because there's parts of Gojo that are from like the 1930s, and one of them is this level of thriftiness that's really, really nice.
That's also, like, other commentators have talked about him being just as gratuitous for her as she is for him, and I don't really follow that thread necessarily, but there is a rich and heady fantasy to the idea of somebody who could perfectly tailor your clothes to you.
Yeah, the thing that's notable is, though, that Marin, as a fantasy, starts when you look at her. She is impossibly hot, and the animators are doing everything to amplify everything about her that is hot.
This is very true.
Gojo is fine. Indeed, the thing about Gojo that I think visually would has the most appeal is that he is both big and non-threatening. He's really not a dangerous guy. And I think that's the closest thing you're getting to visual fan service for him. The fan service that he offers, the fantasy that he offers is, I am responsible, I am hardworking, I will make you food, I will make you clothes, I will do all of this and I will not complain, and I am not doing this because I want to get in your pants, I'm doing this because I am kind. It's a lot.
He's support healer archetype.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's perfect convention companion.
Yeah.
He's the same as Momo's boyfriend in Watakoi.
Yeah.
Why can't I remember his name?
The one good
It's embarrassing. I should remember Best Boy's name.
Yeah. It's okay. I've forgotten it too.
Hirotaka.
Hirotaka, that's the one, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, that's a very apt comparison. Also, because I forgot to mention it, this is by Shinichi Fukuda, published by Square Enix in Young Gangan, and the manga finished March this year, which means I suspect that they have stitched up a contract to just do all of the anime until the ratings fall below a certain rate.
I imagine that might be the case. Like, the first two have done so well, they've got to be planning.
They're going to merchandise the shit out of this.
Yeah.
I'm sure you can get statues of Marin in all the different Fotty cosplays.
And hopefully in her normal clothes, which is so much cuter than any other character.
Yep.
I feel bad saying that. She'd be so sad.
I don't think she would. Because one of the things we've noticed about Marin is that she is an unsinkable rubber duck for almost everything. She would be so delighted that you like her clothes, and she'd think that's cute, and when you express that you like it better than her cosplay, I imagine she'd go, oh well, and she would forget about you forever. But she wouldn't be upset.
She does have a really good attitude, which is part of why she's so fucking likable.
Yeah.
We also get, the hottest characters in the show, which is funny because we're already talking about how Marin's basically perfect. But
we meet Akira.
This season we get Akira and boy whose name I can't remember on the spot.
Himeno or Amano, depending on what you want.
We meet a cross player. And he's gorgeous.
And he has the best line in the show.
Oh, yeah. Remember how I said the point was to reinforce that nobody should be able to make you feel bad for liking what you like?
Yep. He's great. I love him a lot. I feel a little awkward here because he's a college-age boy and he is really hot.
You're allowed to find him hot.
And I'm sitting here going like, yes, this is the one character I like the best. And it's like, do I like him because I think he's fuckable? Probably. But also, his line is amazing. Like, it's delivered perfectly.
There's a lesson that comes up a couple of times, which is that, as a rider too, nobody should be able to make you feel bad about the things you like. Implicit in that statement is that sometimes the people who are supposed to be important to you just suck.
Yeah.
And it's okay for you to cut them out.
Yeah. God, he rules.
You sure do. I was really worried about the lean towards the end of this plot, because there's a thread where Akira is uncomfortable being around Marin, and in a lesser show, there's a lot of shitty reasons that would have been for, like because she was instantly jealous of this hot girl who would come into her space when she's much more like, she doesn't think well of herself, she doesn't have the same confidence that Marin has. Or it could have been like a sudden romantic tension because she's surprised when she first meets Gojo that he's a guy. She didn't realize this because apparently Wakana is more commonly a girl's name.
Yeah.
Something I did not know. Which is fun because Akira is
More commonly
that's
a boy's
gender
name.
neutral.
Well, yes, but it is also pretty commonly a boy's name.
Yeah. So like then you're like, oh no, is that she was like suddenly like, oh my god, it's a boy, I finally met a boy, and then he has the hottest girlfriend you've ever seen, and spoiler for the actual conclusion of the season, I guess. But
Before you go there, we were discussing this like it was an actual murder mystery. Like we were trying to work it out and proposing theories because the show did a good job of leaving this as a hanging question.
yeah, and it is posed as they deliberately cut you off from the conversation where she's about to explain it to the other characters. And I'm cynical. I've been hurt a lot of times when the best, like the coolest, most awesomest girl in an anime shows up, and I'm like, oh, I love you. You are the coolest. You even have a sword and one of those fucking jackets with the embroidered dragons on the back.
Yeah, those jackets that look really cool.
And then like, before the episode is out, the show will be like, oh, don't worry, she's approachable because we've humiliated her in this way, or because we've undermined her self-confidence in this way, or, they immediately do something to take her down a peg because a girl can't just be awesome, especially in a kind of mask way.
See, also, Akane from Galaxy Express.
I was afraid for her as well, but she too turned out to be great.
You got 2 this season.
Yeah. This was a very uplifting season for me. I liked it. It was good.
Yep.
And it just turns out in the end it's just because she loves Marin even more than everyone else does.
Yeah. She's overwhelmed by how cool Marin is.
She's her fucking favorite. She's her Oshi.
She's her Oshi. And of course, what does Marin do when she finds out about this? She
Loses
loses
her
her
shit.
shit.
Yeah.
Absolutely sweet.
Of course she does. Yeah. Great show. We'll keep watching as long as they keep making.
Yeah, and the thing is, we could probably keep going episode by episode. Oh, hey, in the opening for this,
yeah,
the integrated credits.
Oh, the opening's very well done.
Yeah.
And then the ending is so fucking cute.
Oh my god.
And it's like a normal ending. They are saving money on it. The animation is really simplistic, and everyone's rendered in like a cute chibi style instead of the normal style.
Long stills.
But fuck if they don't take the opportunity to still just do like a hyper close-up on lips with really detailed lip sync.
Yep.
Just to fucking flex on you on the way out.
Yeah.
It's lovely. Oh, fucking Gojo gets his, when he finally realizes that the rest of the class doesn't. He has an ongoing subplot of, I have to take care of everything myself. That's how it works, right?
Yeah.
Everything is expected of me. I have to live up to everyone's expectations.
Like he lost both his parents at a young age and it permanently deformed his entire relationship to life.
Something like that. And like he can finally do something useful, but if he does the slightest thing to not perform in front of his classmates, they will immediately decide they don't like him anymore. So there's a lovely moment when he realizes that, no, they don't expect him to do everything that they're all doing, and also this extra shit that only he can do. They just go, no, go, take care of your special interest thing. This doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You do that.
Yeah.
And he gets that moment where, I mean, it's a girl moment. It's running down the hallway, turning back to look at your friends as they give you the inspiring dialogue, and then breaking into a beautiful smile with a little tear in the corner of your eye in slow motion. In the filtering sunlight through the windows of the school corridor.
Gojo is such a good one.
It's so cute. And it's beautifully done.
Yeah. It's a little thing as well. I like that they've made Gojo just quietly better looking, just in the way that they draw him. They're doing a lot less of the strained look that they were doing in the first season.
I don't think he's changed a lot. I think it's just that they tend to represent his stress levels on his face. Because when he's overworking himself in this, he looks really strung out again.
Yeah. Also, we see Juju again. Like I said, we just keep going about this series for ages. It's really good. The characters are
really
deep. That you can learn about how to do cosplay from this anime. There's actual useful information in here.
There's such rich activity surrounding the characters. Like, they have to tell you so little about who they are because they're constantly showing you who they are. Like Gojo customizing everyone's food to their special needs and stuff. Not because anyone's asked him to, just because he found out that shit and he acted on it, because his whole thing is like making the world fit around the people he cares about.
Like he wants to have a level of control. As if he lost his parent. No. Alright. And I admit, I have been dragging out this one a little bit.
Stop ranting about this show that we have already reviewed in a previous episode.
Because here we go with the next one, and it's gonna be a bit of a thing. Secrets of the Silent Witch.
Oh, yeah? So this is a show about...
What's the Japanese title, Fox?
Oh, sorry. I'm just gonna say Silent Witch for that part, because it feels rude to, like, Englishify it on the fly.
Yep.
Shimuk no Majo no Kakushigoto? Yeah, that's
so,
what it looks like.
Yep.
This is a story about a child prodigy witch who, due to crippling social anxiety, girls will literally invent a new school of magic rather than go to therapy.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what she does. She learns silent casting, where everyone else does to do big long incantations to cast their magic, but she's so fucking scared of talking in front of other people that she develops meta magic on the fly.
Yeah.
And thus becomes one of the most important doers of magic in a position of authority for the kingdom. She becomes one of the 7 sages. And then some undisclosed amount of time later, I'm not really sure, is contacted by someone else on this council of sages to undergo a secret mission where she has to keep an eye on a prince who's going to be assassinated. Probably? Maybe? Definitely we need to keep an eye on him. But where is he? He's at magic school. Mm-hmm. So now she has to go and be at magic school.
Again.
Which is horrifying.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much it. If you wanted to see a Magical Academy anime with, like, just occasional life and death stakes.
This is based on a light novel series by Matsuri Isora and illustrated by Nana Fujimi. Then it was turned into, quite frankly, beautiful manga by Toby Tana. It was then published in B's Log Comic, which is a josei publication. And the anime is by Studio Gokumi. And here's the thing. This is, like, cards on the table. I like this series more than Fox does. I think that's a pretty reasonable way to say it.
This had a real uphill battle for me because I'm not a fan of Magical Academy stuff. That's one of my least favorite genres.
Yeah, it's not a genre you like. It's not a style you like. And like, the things it chooses to be about are not interesting to you. It's not repellent, but it's not doing anything to pull you in.
Yeah, like, I would have liked to see the, fantasy fights side of things more, and a lot of the time it's just being magical slice of life around school. And, like, that's not wrong, it's just not particularly interesting to me, because I don't care about schools.
I think there's much more about the conspiracy than you do, but that's okay.
There's so much time dedicated to her, like, making friends, and, like, becoming okay with all the various people that she has to suss out for the sake of the conspiracy and everything. And I do feel like it's mostly an anime about her overcoming her introversion.
Maybe.
Than it is about anything else.
Yeah. I really liked this one. I thought that it had a kind of a good triptych of arcs. Especially because one of the things that's recurrent throughout this is that Monica, the main character, is every bit as good as advertised. This isn't something where, like, we got the secret silent sage to do this thing and she's going to run into wall after wall and she's going to have to, like, find new ways to power up. No.
We just constantly have to have her go, oh no, I can't do my special skill here because it will reveal me or something. So I'll just constantly be put in situations where I'm damseled after all. Nah, they don't fuck with that.
No. It's effectively, it's a stealth game kind of narrative where the whole point is anytime she wants to break glass, she can. She can just end the charade and completely take over. But the longer she avoids doing that, the better. Which means that a lot of the puzzles of the show are her getting into a position where she can either use something that isn't magic to solve a problem, like just working something out as a detective, or getting somewhere private, at which point people find out what she's capable of, and she's not a cruel or power domineering person.
No, she's way too sweet, really.
She is a nice person, but the level of power she has means that people categorically underestimate her. Not just, I didn't know you were the Silent Witch, but even someone who's like, you must be the Silent Witch. Well, I can still deal with you because, and then they're atomized. They're not even in the same sport, let alone the same league. And so the puzzle of the series keeps on being about, what can I do without having to do that? And I really like that. It's not as Yuri-rific as it probably should be, really. It's not as queer in general as it should be for something with a shape-shifting, gender-flopped boy in it.
It does feel like they're setting up all of the student council boys as love interests, except for the one who's explicitly engaged to someone else.
They do the harem anime open shot, and also his little sister wants to shack up with Monica as well, a little bit. While talking about this series with Fox, off mic, I use the term prize series. Well, like, the whole point of this is like a reward for you, fans of this thing, that you now have an anime of the thing you love. And we can't do all of it. We're not going to cover everything. So we're going to give you something that looks really cool and maybe gives a good first impression that you can use to get people into the light novels or the manga or whatnot. A really good example of that kind of anime, that prize anime effect, I would point to is Watakoi. There's way more Watakoi than you get in the anime, but the anime's great, and you can go, hey, watch Watakoi. Did you like that? There's even more manga. I think that's the kind of thing Silent Witch is. I don't imagine we're going to get the whole story, because there's like 14 light novels. It's a fairly elaborate mystery story.
I feel like we're definitely getting more. That this might be rolling into a second core, actually.
I think it is rolling
into a second core. It didn't feel like
core.
It had an end.
Yeah, but also it might be just full on RGV during this. It might. Anyway.
It's entirely possible. And, like, every time I try and think about my overall opinions on this, I can't get past the fact that if it just looked better to me, I would have a much higher opinion of it. So, like, a lot of what I dislike about it is superficial.
Yeah.
I just don't think the designs are that cute. I hate the magic uniforms.
Yep, I don't like the uniforms either.
None of the boys are hot enough.
I agree on that. Well, Cyril's pretty good, but...
He's the closest, yeah.
But he's also very
Finally
generic.
A fucking long-haired boy in anime again.
Yeah.
So sick of short-haired anime boys.
And the presence of Lewis, the monocle-wearing dickhead. Like, that guy...
He's quite tedious. He's not nearly as charming as he thinks he is.
Yeah. But... the thing that got me to look at this in the first place was a shot in the trailer of our character, while surprised, doing a shocked face with a little X for a mouth. And that reminded me of an anime called Princess Connect Redive, which is extremely mid.
Which, if you've read Talen's blog, you might be more familiar with as Princess Rincess Incest.
It's such a terrible name. And I got interested in watching that anime because it was the anime of a game that had gone past end of service.
Right.
So I was kind of curious of like, what can I tell about the game from watching the anime? And what I can tell is I wouldn't have put up with the game either. The way I tend to phrase it is, Princess Rincess Incest has a joke. It's a good joke. I like the joke, but it's got one joke. Thing is, I looked at that anime and went, you know, I like how this looks. I think, like, it's very cheesy and fan servicey. Princess Rincess Incest Princess is a show which is about tits. It's about looking at various different cute girls surrounding a almost silent protagonist, whatever. I noticed a similar art style here and I thought, I'll check that out, which I think is entirely why I did. And I wound up watching a series that I quite liked. Here's the thing, though. This anime was made by an art director and director pair who have worked together on other projects. It's the art director is Takaomi Kanasaki, and the director is Yasuo Iwamoto. And together, they worked on Princess Connect Redive, and Konosuba, and Working, and Watamote, or it's no matter how you look at it, it's your guys' fault I'm not popular, and Log Horizon, and the quintessential quintuplets, and Watakoi, Life is Hard for an Otaku.
Shit.
Like, these art this pair can do some really
Not
good
expecting Watakoi to be on that list, because up until then you were like, a lot of things I think I was looking quite mid.
Yeah. Like, it was just a fun coincidence to find out that one of my favorite anime was made by the same pair.
And by the way, I do think that like an injection of budget would massively have benefited this, because the opening looks pretty exquisite.
And the first episode where they kind of blow the wad of like, we have to show you that she's actually good, is like, it immediately drops off a cliff, because like, we have to use 3D model monsters and they look really gungy.
Oh yeah. Also, 3D horses. Boy, this season of anime,
Not good for 3D horses.
I swear there's like one stock 3D horse that just everyone has got that
horse
same
puts in
fucking
work.
model and that same animation loop, and just like, that's because nobody wants to draw a fucking horse.
Horses are hard though.
They are hard. This has been the theme of several concepts. Also, the horses in this are like amusingly large.
Yeah.
She's small, but that's a big fucking horse.
Felix isn't meant to be small, and he also
No.
looks suitably impish
They
next to
look
it.
a little bit small on that horse.
Look,
I have the theory that horses are very difficult to size correctly.
yeah. I think, in general, about Silent Witch, that its promise is much more than its delivery. I think the concept works really well. I think that it, ironically, if it was schlockier or sleazier in some way, if it was more indulgent about its wizard combat, if the girls were more nakedly into one another, if the boys were hotter and there to sell more gacha, it would probably be a more memorable series. As it is, it's just like a really good 7 out of 10 kind of thing. The only way you could really improve it is by injecting more money or taking away something that's keeping it at the level of quality it's at. It needs a memorable fuck up to be really interesting.
I'm not wishing that upon it.
And also, I really like Monica. As a character, she reminds me of characters of my friends, and I find her very charming.
I flip-flopped on her on a scene-by-scene basis.
Yep.
Like, when she's being a nerd, she's fucking delightful. She's so normal brain. She fucking memorized the Fibonacci sequence to help her get to sleep. That's incredible autistic goblin energy.
There is a sequence where she sees a boy in a crowd and she knows he's hot because she can tell his body conforms to the golden ratio. And how do they tell you this? They show you her imagining a graph line.
But there's a couple of scenes where when asked to explain something, she jumps to illustrating with a chart on an easel. And I'm like, yes, that's what I want to see.
She's so good in those moments.
That's the shit I want. But then a lot of the other time, she's just looking sad because she doesn't have the confidence to tell someone to fuck off.
Yep.
And, you know, obviously she can't because that's the whole point of the show. But it just, you know, it just makes me angry.
I haven't read the light novels. I haven't read the manga. But what she needs is a bozo.
Yeah. And that's what I thought her, like, country gal friend was going to be.
Casey? Yeah.
Casey, yeah.
Doesn't work out that way.
Didn't turn out that way. I was really sad. But then I was kind of happy because I always thought Casey's design was really disappointing. Like, I hope she's not that important a character.
But, like, she needs, ironically, from Milky Subway, she needs a Akane or a Makina. She needs someone who will push the button.
She just needs a snarker who's behind her all the time.
Which the cat is meant to do, but the cat...
Well, the cat can't be there most of the time.
Yeah.
Also, show has a real problem with names. It's hardly unique to this show.
Sorry,
but
I put my hands up and I step back and I just let Fox have the floor.
there's only two kinds of fantasy names in anime. One is, like, you know, Rudolfino Marquistus Bosonium the fourth, and the other one is, you know, Rob and George and Fred. Like, there's no fucking middle ground. It's either absolute nonsense or it's some guy you met in school. And this is of the some guy you met in school. Which, you know, I bet certain Turf Wizard shows have had a very poor influence on. Because it seems to be that the main thing is, like, do these names sound kind of British? Ah, well.
No, I'm not.
Not uniquely a fault of this show, once again, I stress. It's just the one that made me particularly annoyed with it this season.
It's one of those funny things about the show, because I don't think if you if you had to sit down and like do a report on the bad things about this show, none of the things you would complain about are particularly big problems.
No.
It's just the constant irritation of names like Cyril and Felix and Lloyd and Lewis and Delph, I think is one of them.
Fucking Dudley.
Dudley?
It was a Dudley.
Yeah. It's just this constant little irritation, poke at you, and Casey and whatnot. Like, I think these are fine names, but for you...
It just erodes the idea of a fantasy setting when everyone is like, I knew a guy in school called that.
I mean, obviously, I can't relate because I knew 4 people in school.
It's true. You're not a fair sample size.
and funnily enough, no one here has a biblical name, so clearly...
I mean, that's not really true, because a lot of English names are just biblical names whitewashed.
Monica and Nero and Lewis and Felix and Casey are not biblical names.
Nero's a bit exotic, but he's also a cat,
Yeah.
so he doesn't count.
All right. Are we good?
Yes. I'm done kicking this anime, which really doesn't deserve it. It's perfectly acceptably mid.
The funny thing is, it's very hard to, because like while you're saying this, it's very hard to hear you saying this while looking at the picture of Monica, who's just looking
Looks
kind
so
of
upset.
exhausted. Like, you know.
Oh, you know what? I'll say this. When we get flashbacks to her previous magical school, which is a lot more blatantly inspired by Turf Wizard shit,
Yep.
the uniforms are way better.
Yep.
None of this froofy poo neckbow junk.
Yep.
We've got fucking ponchos and shit. Looks like a picnic blanket that used to live in the boot of my parents' car when I was 6. I love it.
What I will say about this, as we wrap up, I think the chess arc in this is handled excellently.
Yeah?
The introduction of the game, the way that they represent learning the game, people's reactions to her understanding of the game, the changing of the rules midstream, and that whole narrative, that's really good.
I thought you would have gotten kind of mad that they didn't, like they acted like it was going to be important to that, and then it got cut off immediately.
Well, we got what was important in that, which is about the relationships. Once she knows how to play chess, it's a foregone conclusion.
You know what? That's a good point.
They make a point. She is going to it's what, her 3rd game of chess, and they're like, can you please come to this tournament? She's going to smash it. It's absolutely unreasonable for anyone else to win at that point. So they're like, well, we're just going to yada, yada, yada the rest of the chess tournament because we got what we needed here, which is someone emotionally attacking her and her almost killing a man. Oh, dear. Anyway, we good?
We good.
Speaking of good, see you tomorrow at the food court.
This is an anime about an odd couple of schoolgirl friends who hang out at the food court and talk about whatever shit happens to be in their minds on that particular day, and they are good and nice. Well, one of them's good and nice.
The other one is...
One is kind of a little shit.
This is by Shinichiro Narie, published on Twitter until Karakawa rescued it and put it on Comic New Type. The anime is by Atelier Pontar.
Oh, I didn't do the title.
I wasn't going to give you grief about it.
Food court de mata ashita.
Yeah. So, quick warning ahead of time. There are only 6 episodes of this. This is a show that feels like there should be 144 episodes of this that get put between other shows and compilations.
Yeah, like realistically, it feels more like 12 half-size episodes than 6 full-length episodes. But,
Yeah.
you know, that's literally 6 of one, half a dozen of another.
Little bit like Pop Team Epic, but much less absurd.
Yeah.
This is a show that lives and dies on the character dynamic between these 2 people. And I love them, and they're great, and I want them to grow up healthy and happy, and they're going to be 3 years into a common law marriage after college, when one of their friends is going to say, you can bring your wife if you want, at which point Yamamoto will go, wife? And they'll both have this moment of realizing that they are in fact girlfriends, and have been very much together for a long time. They joke about it in the show at one point.
They do, yeah.
To the point of, yeah.
Ends with like a little Yuri tease, but it's clearly not meant to mention anything, but also like in the same way that I finished season 1 of My Dress Up Darling going, well, they're a couple now, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it became clear in the second season that they didn't know it yet. But as far as I'm concerned, if you're romantically interested in someone who's romantically interested in you, and you spend all your time together hanging out because you're best friends, you're a couple.
And to quote the great sage of our day, Sun Won Cho, oh, they're fucking.
Hey, fuck
it. These two girls, they do not fuck. But they are, whatever they are doing, that's them, they fuck.
Yes, that's true. And, like, this is not to make it sound like any of this is, like, sleazy or gratuitous. Like, this is not a horny show.
No.
It's incredibly cute and really, really well animated. Holy shit, does it look good.
Yeah, there's this phrase, every frame a painting, where you can take certain filmmakers' work and every single frame looks beautiful on its own, removed from the context. And that's not true for everything. But in this one, if you just search Tumblr for See You Tomorrow at the Food Court, you will get a festival of individual moments and GIFs of the characters saying or doing things that are very funny and very charming. Wada is a festival of garbage goblin girl expressions.
Oh, right. I didn't really talk about the personalities at all, did I? Like, the basic pitch here is that Wada looks like an extremely well-behaved, nice girl and probably also a rich kid.
Yep. Well, she is rich.
And she's a horrible goblin.
She is a horrible goblin.
And Yamamoto looks like a ditzy, doesn't give a fuck Yaru with a bad attitude. But
to do anything for social media.
Yeah. But she's actually extremely responsible, really nice, and literally doesn't have social media accounts until her shitty little friend bugs her about it.
Yep. Also, I think it's implied that that Yamamoto, like, doesn't do tanning. Like, this is just her skin tone from interacting with the world. Which isn't, like, she doesn't go to, like, tanning bed. She's not using tanning solution or anything like that. This is just her...
I can't remember that. I thought they talked about tanning, but it might have been specifically to bring that up, so...
Yeah.
You might be right.
Yeah. Her hair, she's mentioned, like, that's a specific... Like, she is trying to keep her hair like that. And indeed, the point is, like, I can wear my hair how I like. But yeah, these characters are more interesting than they look at first glance, and they are very funny, and Wada is garbage, and Yamamoto is her girl prince, and it's very sweet. I liked this one a lot. When watching this, I was structuring the playlist so that we would have, like, a marker, so we'd always know when we had looped, and, like, we've watched all the episode 2s, now we're going to be starting at episode 3s.
Yes.
And this was the marker for this season, which is, like, every time we got a little, at the end of all the emotionally exhausting stuff, we then got a little treat of some food court. And food court is always wonderful.
Yeah, this was a great time every episode. Not even any, like, oh, but what about thing. There is briefly a bit of weight loss nonsense, but,
yeah, and
like, where both characters try to claim that they're kind of fat in some way or another, and I'm just like,
shut up, all of you, shut up.
Fuck anime girls saying they're fat. I'm so sick of that shit.
And there's a bit of meanness to another girl because she's not pretty enough, but, like, whatever. Like, oh, you know, the 14-year-old Japanese girl has some kind of trash opinions, you know.
Yes, well, and that's kind of, like, what Wada is kind of shitty. Like,
yeah,
she has a much more... Well, she has a much worse personality.
As she describes it herself, I have a terrible personality.
Actually, yeah, she's straight
and
up...
I like talking about myself.
And there's something really delightful in that level of honesty as well. And that's the point of it. It's about two friends who are able to be honest with one another in ways they cannot be with anyone else.
Uh-huh.
And that's why they're girlfriends.
In a shared common space.
That it's definitely not an actual Yuri, I just want to emphasize that, but, like, it's fucking gay for something that doesn't realize it's gay.
Yeah. Are we good?
Yeah, wow, that was kind of short, but... Yeah, well, that works! Anyway, watch it, it's great.
Such a good show. And now we hit a point of caveats.
Uh-huh.
There's no freaking way I'll be your lover. Unless... ...
私が恋人になれるわけないじゃん。無理無理。無理じゃなくた。
Yeah, giving you a fucking sentence in a language you don't
That's
speak.
huge, and it seems to contain more information than the English titles.
Uh-huh. Alright, Fox.
Right, I'm doing synopses.
Do you want some names?
Let's see if I can remember anyone's name. No, I've already failed. I want to say her name's Mai, but I'm thinking of the other pink-haired girl.
All right, so the characters we are dealing with here is the main
No,
character,
just the first one. Just give me the first one.
Renako.
Renako, that's right. So, Renako was an intense introvert to the point of being an actual hikikomori. In what?
Whatever comes before this level of school.
I think they call it middle school.
We
Well,
don't know.
Americans call it middle school, so whether or not Japanese call it middle school, that's what it gets translated to in the English.
It's a
track.
mystery. We move on.
Yeah. So she has gone out and made a proactive effort to change herself when she enters her new school in high school. And she's gonna become a bubbly, popular girl who's really cute and doesn't at all look like a freaky shut-in who plays video games 24/7. And she has broadly succeeded in this. She has ingratiated herself with the popular girl group. And still has a massive anxiety condition bubbling away beneath the surface.
At all times.
At all times. And one day when she's having a particularly bad freak out about this, the most popular girl in school, a literal model, whose name I have indeed forgotten.
Mai.
That's the Mai! That's why I got confused!
Yeah, and the thing is, the romanization in this one is just a world of problems for you, so...
Oh, yeah, that's right. They do a very strange thing where they like to omit Zs and Ss from the romanization, which just throws me for a fucking loop. Anyway, Mai, the most popular girl in school, the prince and or princess of the school, follows her up to the roof where she's having a freak out, misinterprets her as being about to attempt suicide, jumps off the fucking roof to save her because she's dumb as bricks. But very confident that she and Renako will survive because she's quote-unquote lucky.
Yep.
And thus begins an infatuation. Mai immediately decides she has fallen in love with Renako. And she's not good at taking no for an answer. She's very like, well, this is a foregone conclusion. If I have attained love, you will obviously reciprocate love. And Renako is not in for that shit because she has no fucking idea how any of that works. And she actually doesn't even know how to be friends with anyone, really. Because even though she's part of this group, she's not connecting to anyone. So her immediate response is, no, I can't do that. I only want friends. The compromise between the two of them is a bargain where Mai will try and make her fall in love, and Renako will try and make her fall in friends, because that's obviously better. There you go. That's a pretty decent summary. And then the various
Of the
other
first
girls
episode.
want to fuck one or the other or both of them. Generally, everybody in this picture probably would fuck everybody else in this picture.
No, probably about it.
Look, we don't really know about the blue-haired one yet.
Based on the anime, we don't know.
Yes.
What I'm offering is, we know.
I haven't seen that, okay? But yeah, this is... So it starts off being mostly centered on Mai and Renako and this, bet and whatnot. But as the story progresses...
The center cannot hold.
it becomes very obvious that everyone's got a crush on Mai, and now everyone is getting a crush on Renako as well, and all of them have no fucking idea what to do about this, so they turn it into some, almost Kaguya-sama level nonsense of, how can I, rather than admitting to this, turn it into some kind of vengeance, or secret plan, or weird game, or something, because no one can just be like, well, I mean, I'm sincerely into you.
Look, there's a term that gets bandied around, which is toxic Yuri, which is usually used to describe really, honestly, edgy, dire stuff with, stabbings and whatnot. This is the toxic Yuri, but the toxin is caffeine, right? This is an anime about girls who are in love with girls who are polyamorous, and girls who are bad at boundaries, because by being bad at boundaries, you get to have all the fun, exciting shit happen. You get to have characters forcibly kissing one another, and it's really hot. But, like, you have to take a step back and go, well, obviously in real life, I would never condone this because everyone knows that everything you enjoy in fiction is, in fact, a one-to-one representation of what you think should actually happen. And that's why I think the guy who runs Tumblr should be killed with hammers.
This is why all horror movie fans are terrible people.
Yeah, it's why I periodically go out and kill 14 to 17 people in elaborate tableaus. Watanabe is a non-toxic Play-Doh toxic Yuri series, and it is very, very good at that.
It is
known as Watanabe for short.
Yeah, that makes it a lot easier to talk about.
It started as a series of light novels by Talen Mikami and Iku Takashima, and I could not find pronouns for anyone involved. The manga was by Mushu on Dash X Comic, which is an online platform for a printed comic, and then the anime was made by Studio Mother. It is a Yuri world. There are boys, but they are not characters.
It is. One of the things that impressed me about it, and this is true for Bad Girl as well, I have to give them both credit for this, is that these are universes where being a lesbian, or at the very least being bisexual, is as normal as het shit.
Yep.
And that's very refreshing. Like, it's not even there is a lesbian couple and they're like, oh no, but girls can't do that. Nah. Fucking no. Everyone is just assumed to be into other girls unless stated otherwise.
Well, everyone in this group believes it is entirely possible for Reneko to be into girls because they're already into at least one other girl.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. It escalates more than you'd think. It's got more thoughts to it than you'd think. And the structure of the story, like, that premise Fox outlined, by the time you hit episode 13, it feels quaint. Because none of it matters by the end. Because what's happening by the end is, like, devious levels of social interaction and pressure between these girls about the fact that they all very much want to fuck one another, but they don't know how to go about accepting that fact about themselves.
And the less horny level of just, like, everyone here has a fucking anxiety condition. It's not just the person who knows it.
Yeah.
It's the other people who don't know it as well.
Yeah.
Like, nobody thinks that they are an acceptable person. Everyone has the deep down belief that they are awful and trash and unacceptable.
Mm-hmm.
And that's probably a big factor in why they can't just tell the other girl that they're in love with them.
Mai does manipulative and abusive things. In part because she thinks there's no other way for her to get what she wants, because why would anyone want the gorgeous, tall, supermodel babe? It's a world that's so much more thoughtful than this kind of thing needs to be.
She is exactly the kind of archetype that normally goes on Prince characters.
Yeah.
Which is that she is completely full of bluster and confidence and, you know, the foregone assumption that everyone exists for her benefit, covering the deep-seated anxiety that she will never be good enough ever.
Yeah, and the whole series turns, I think it's around episode 4, where we hear someone else quote a line from Mai, and it's just like, oh, wow, oh no, she's so terrible.
She's horrid.
She's awful. And also, I want her to get better and succeed, because that's also really wretched.
I do also want her to do, like, 2 fewer things with her hairstyle in any given moment. But that's just me being judgy about over-designed anime girls again.
Yeah. And you'd think for an over-designed anime like this, it would be hard for there to be 2 characters who are too similar that you occasionally can mix them up. But guess what? Anyway. Don't worry. The character's not on the poster. It doesn't matter.
Oh, okay. I was just gonna say, we're talking about Mai and her friend, because I'm pretty sure that that's a really deliberate choice, that Satsuki's hair is Mai's hair, but less...
Yeah.
Like, on about 2 fewer levels.
Yeah, also Reneko and both her sister and mum.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah,
her mum is just her with even bigger tits, frankly.
Yeah, that's probably... This show breasts boobily.
It do breast... This show is very horny. Probably even more horny than Bad Girl.
Yeah.
But it does more to justify that horniness, because it's definitely got a second thought in its head.
Yeah.
So it's simultaneously better and worse. But... also, the production values are so much higher.
The second episode of this has girls making out naked in the bath. This goes to the hundreds real fast.
Immediately. It's like, we're getting just so many kisses. So many kisses. And not like shitty little baby coward kisses either. Like full on.
Lip lock.
Yeah.
This, however, this is also a show about adolescent sexuality. So it's completely reasonable that you might watch this and go, I feel uncomfortable,
Yeah.
and move on.
Yeah. I can see why someone would be fundamentally uncomfortable with, and you know, because they're so fucking stupid about it too. Like, there's a hyper reality
Yeah.
about the environment that feels gratuitous if you can't float on it.
Yeah.
It very easily becomes kind of like, that's a bit rough. Come on.
Uh-huh.
But like overall, it kept its head above water. I'm gonna say, surprised me repeatedly.
And its ending is one of the best in show for this type of anime.
That
The
is-
ending of the first
yeah.
season was incredible.
Genuine surprise, didn't see it coming. Interested to see where that goes. I don't know if they're getting a second season. I presume they think they are, but,
Yeah.
you know, this could also be what you called a prize anime, since it exists so much in its other forms as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of light novels.
This might exist not for the sake of finishing the story, but just for the sake of seeing these girls move around and group each other.
Indeed. We good?
Indeed.
Ruri Rocks.
Ruri no Hoseki.
All right. Well,
I'm
I
doing this
believe this
I
is
keep
yours.
forgetting. Hey, I'm great at this. So this is the story about Ruri, the little one on this poster, who is at the establishing point of the show, kind of a shallow, superficial, obsessed with pretty expensive, sparkly things, like very teenage girl character. And her experience of gradually transforming into somebody with a lot of second thoughts in her head by virtue of meeting Nagi, the big one on the poster, while she is out looking for pretty gems in the dirt, because she has been told that she cannot have money for pretty gems. She's gonna have to go look for them herself if she wants them.
Mm-hmm.
And it turns out she's gonna do that, because Nagi is perfect and knows everything and is a geology student from a nearby university. With a fucking warhammer over her shoulder and
You can say it.
just massive fat tits. She's gonna permanently deform this child's sexuality, I'm sure of it. And they're gonna go on adventures together, and they're gonna fight all kinds of exciting rocks, and by doing that, Ruri's gonna understand what's so interesting about them beyond just their superficial ability to sparkle and be expensive. And in this way, this anime is a metaphor just for growing up in general. Like, this is a coming-of-age journey as expressed by rolling through the rock tumbler of life and bouncing off other important people and their fat tits.
I can see the joke, like the train at the end of the Roadrunner tunnel. And it's like, when's it gonna leave? Wait. And I was like, oh, she's not gonna do it. And then,
You know, once you opened the door, I had to. I think there was a point in this show where I just went, the two genders, scrawny little kid and fat tits.
Yeah. Ruri Rocks is an educational anime. It's quite enjoyable. I think that it captures the feeling of doing a PhD better than anything else I've ever seen. The fact that it's like, yeah, what am I doing this afternoon? I'm checking these jars of dirt to make sure there's no statistically significant chance that I've missed a sapphire in them.
But didn't you check those jars of dirt last week?
Yeah, I'm still checking those same jars of dirt.
I see. Well, good luck with your jars of dirt.
Yeah, I get through about a teaspoon of dirt a day.
I'm off to have ice cream.
Yeah.
Enjoy your dirt.
Yeah. Ruri Rocks is by, also known as Introduction to Mineralogy by Keiichiro Shibuya, and the anime is by Studio Bind.
And it's fucking gorgeous.
Beautiful. We talked, if you're not familiar with the term Sakuga, it's the term that's generally used to refer to when the animation ramps up. Animation is not all created equal. Some of it is harder to do, and it looks better, and it therefore costs more to make.
Yeah.
And anime has a very good relationship to budgeting where it's going to spend time and money.
Yeah, like if your characters are just standing around talking, you don't need to worry about making that look incredible. Whereas if you have a cool fight scene coming up, you want to make sure that looks as good as it possibly can.
Yeah.
So you put a lot more attention into it.
And background art, like landscapes and stuff like that, is harder to do if you don't get a lot of use out of the background, but you can hold a long background shot or do a slow pan over a background shot and get a lot for effectively one drawing. Ruri Rocks is incredibly well budgeted in that it saves so much money of that, as it were, budget of animation by, static frames of here is a diagram and chibis of the characters just yapping in front of it. And then that means that they can do just the most dizzyingly nicely animated shot of a character smashing a rock open with a hammer, and you get to see the hammer do a 2-arc bounce back, and also her jiggling fat tits. and also thick thighs. Let's not kid.
Oh yeah,
like
you cannot undersell the thighs.
Nagi is built for this body. That's one of the other things that is really nice. Like, she actually looks like someone who would be built like this.
It's kind of charming to see a world where the anime girls are just kind of stockier in general. Like, I've previously been uncomfortable using the word thick because it makes it sound like you're talking about an object rather than a person, and
Yeah.
I kind of resist that. But I do feel like this is an adequate way to describe the body shape of adult women in this show. And also, like, pleasantly to go with that, this is not a horny show.
No.
Although, like, you can sort of tell from the designs that it's a horny artist.
And it's a horny manga.
And I've got no problem with that. But it's really fucking nice that, like, the literal children are not treated in any kind of horny way,
Yeah.
which is particularly nice because, like, Ruri in particular reads as, like, very, like, young and immature. She has a friend who's, like, much more busty. So it's not like they can't do this with high school girls, but I just appreciate that they didn't choose to do it with the one that we spend most of our time with, because she feels like such a kid.
Mm-hmm. Look, this is a show about mineralogy. You're not going to get there is an emotional payoff. There is a big emotional through line through the whole story of Ruri connecting with her grandfather's hobby, and it is very sweet. But do not for a moment be fooled into thinking that this is going to have some greater plot than here is something from a mineralogy textbook.
Well, that's not entirely true. Like, it's definitely about her development, fundamentally.
Sure.
And we are shown at first someone who pretty much doesn't give a fuck. And has that, like, it's not treated as, like, a serious or depressing kind of thing, but she very flippantly sort of doesn't care about her understanding of anything. There's a point where she's like, oh, I wasn't gonna, like, go into studying gems or anything. I just like them as a hobby. I'm not smart enough for that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's sort of the position that she's had the whole way along. She, she's only doing this for fun because she's dumb.
Mm-hmm.
And she thinks of that as being a permanent state rather than something that changes when you try and get smarter.
Yeah. But my point is, you're not going to find a ghost story or a laser sword. They're not going to find a...
Oh, hell no. No.
No,
It's definitely slice of life.
Yeah, this is very,
It's the
very...
cute girls doing cute things show.
Mm-hmm. It's just two of the cute girls are cute women.
Yeah, which is nice and refreshing.
Uh-huh. Speaking of people who are going to realize they're in a common law marriage 3 years after they graduate.
Oh, yeah, Nagi and Imari, who is her friend with the glasses there,
Yeah.
are practically married already.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to work that one out sooner or later. In fact, the only bit where this is kind of gratuitous and horny is when Imari brings in a wardrobe to just try dressing up Nagi for a bit.
Yep.
And it's so weird and out of place, I kind of just hated that scene uniquely in the whole show. But,
Yep.
I mean, it's there, and it's not really defensible if she's not into her.
And, like, look at Nagi. You are meant to find her very hot. Part of this show is behold
Very
this hot
slamming
lady. and therefore the show occasionally taking a break to go, and now, here she is, in a suit and a maid costume. Like, yeah, right, I get what you're doing.
We just started joking a bit after a while. We just started referring to them as mum and dad. Because Nagi is extremely dad. She always knows what to do. She's always got the equipment. She's big and strong and cool. And you know.
She warns Ruri about kicking the sign. And if you kick the sign...
Yeah.
We're not going to do anything and we're going to go home.
Yeah, she's great. And she even explains why we're not following the rules for the sake of following the rules. We're following the rules because the rules represent, ecological needs and important things that we have to consider that we can't just ignore.
And keeping ourselves safe. Yeah.
She's very good. She's basically perfect.
That's one of the things that comes to this show. There's a point where they're having a big old explorer of a big old puzzle, and then at one point an adult goes, okay, we're stopping because I can't guarantee anyone's safety. We're going home.
Yeah, Mum's kind of cool too.
Yeah. It's just like a refreshing moment of like, oh yeah, an adult taking responsibility because children are people and don't deserve to have their bad judgment inflicted upon them permanently.
We do also pick up another of Ruri's school friends towards the end of the season.
Shoko.
Who joins in as the second younger member of the team and has some secret geology trauma.
Uh-huh.
It's not that secret.
Also, she serves as like another counterpoint in that she has a distinct body from Ruri. Like, they're not built the same.
They're not, no. All of these designs are interesting and distinctive and delightful. Even if they do. I think I commented before we watched it, kind of looks like if Azumanga Daioh was horny.
Azumanga Daioh is kind of horny, though.
Not like this. Well,
no.
Not like this isn't horny, but obviously has created the space for horniness.
Yeah.
And I enjoy that, because I don't have too much tolerance for horny.
Mm-hmm.
And like we spoke about last season, cute girls doing cute things shows live or die on the personalities of characters and how good they fucking look. And production value is a huge component of that second one, and this has both of those. I loved everybody, and I loved looking at this from start to finish. It's so good.
Yeah. You good for more?
Yeah.
Alright, well, from slice of life, nothing happens, let's crawl around on a mountain and look at rocks.
Uh-oh. Oh, no, different one.
The summer Hikaru died.
Hikaru got shinda natsu.
This was written by Mokumo Mokurin on Young Ace Up. The anime is by Cygames Pictures, and there is a second season in the works, so it's still ongoing. I bring that up as a warning ahead of time, because if you're expecting a nice tight ending, a nice tight 12 horror story...
Oh, no.
Anyway, Fox, what's this?
This is a story about a high school boy called... What's our main character's name? Yoshiki. Thank you. Who, in the opening scene, turns to his best friend of many years called Hikaru and says, "You're not really him, right? You died when you went up onto that mountain and then came back like a week later." And Hikaru says, "Oh no, I thought I was hiding it so well." And thus begins a horror, romance, small town, boiling terror, resentment kind of show.
Uh-huh.
About how sometimes your best friend is a monster, but maybe he doesn't understand how or why he's a monster and what it means to be that and what he can do with that and whether or not he's dangerous or whether or not he can choose to be safe. And also, how much you want to fuck him.
This is an anime about why Dr. Tenma sold Astro Boy.
Horrifying.
Yeah. The nature of slow boil anime, and like slow boil is a really good term for it. I've also heard this kind of thing referred to as summertime noir, where like,
oh, that's a perfect name for it. Yeah.
Well, like it's hot and it's bright and like and you're up all night because you can't fucking sleep.
Yeah, you've seen this before in horror anime. It's blaring insects and nights that are too hot to sleep, and summer festivals where like you're your friends are all there and it's warm and beautiful and you'll remember it forever, but there's also some creepy shit going on underneath it that just isn't supposed to be there in such a wholesome scene. And the anachronism.
Yeah. The my personal apex of the form is summertime render. No great surprise there.
Easy win. ...
Joke about fat tits. The thing with this kind of show, normally, like, summertime rendering uses a lot of action and a lot of mystery puzzle solving to structure itself. The summer Hikaru died.
It's also like a lot of an action series as well, whereas this is much more of a mystery.
You could, if you were directing this as a classical mystery story, you could knock this show out in 3 episodes. And it doesn't. And not because it's stretching it out, not because it's trying to pad itself or waste your time, but because part of this show is the chill association, that gentle existing with one another, that is then used to just very slowly turn the thumb screws until you get to the final episode of this season, which does say, hey, we better get a second season, but is also, like, when it happens, you exhale a breath you didn't know you were holding.
It's not at all what it appears to be from the start.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I thought it was just going to be a main character desperately tries to hold shit together while friend just, does more and more monster shit.
Yeah,
and gets away with it because his friend loves it. Yeah, like, they telegraph pretty early on who's going to be the first person to die. And so many people get death flagged after that, and you're like, okay, let's see how this goes, and it's going to escalate, and sooner or later we can't deny it, and none of that. Not a damn thing.
Yep.
Because what they want to do instead is, like, you need to be invested in also wanting Hikaru to make it. You really want to root for these guys. And they've been very coy about whether or not this is gonna be like an ultimate downer ending, or if, it's worth having hope that they can actually make it.
Yeah.
Which, is probably a really deliberate choice considering the whole thing is very overtly a gay metaphor. And gay.
I was gonna say, it's not even, yeah.
There is both the gay metaphor and the actual gay.
Yeah.
And you can't really overlook either of them because the whole thing is about fearing whether or not you are something that can belong in this very wholesome seeming, very rural, very traditional kind of town, or whether there is some, like, ancestral sin that colors who you are and is inescapable even if you're not that person.
The kind of problem Yoshiki is dealing with is one where there are 2 thresholds to cross. The one is being what he is, and the other one is letting people know he is what he is, which is to say gay. I'm not being coy here. This isn't like, oh, he's secretly a monster.
No, it's pretty fucking explicit.
That's Hikaru. Yoshiki is very obviously a gay teenager in a rural town who doesn't know who he can be safe around. And so before he can get to the stage of, hey, maybe I want to fuck boys, he has to get through the gate of, is this a place where I can admit to myself that I want to fuck boys? And also, this anime has 2 boys fingering each other in the fucking gym back rooms. This is teenage sexuality, exploring one another. This is gay.
Oh, not fingering in a sexual way. Just sticking their hands into the chest meat and, like, feeling around in there.
And explaining how it feels to one another.
Yes. And there's a lot of very, like, direct dialogue from those scenes. Like, the last time they have a physical interaction like that, and there's that moment of, it didn't hurt like I thought it would.
Yep.
There's a lot of those moments of just, like, this line comes straight out of an actual sex scene.
Yeah.
So they're playing with it in a manner that is not meant to be subtle.
Yeah. And it's really good. Real good tension.
Really good. I want to see if this bears out. in the second season, and I guess probably I'm gonna have to fucking read it if they don't get a second season, because now I want to know. But I believe that the reason Yoshiki's dad is the way he is I think he's gay too.
Yeah, you're noticing that thread? Yep.
It's definitely implied to some degree or another, but they're being very coy about whether it's, just that he's, kind of disconnected from his wife and his kids. Or, like, I'm pretty fucking sure he was also in love with Hikaru's dad.
Yep. He was into him.
See, that's his surname, so that's a pretty funny joke.
Yeah, well, no, it is a joke.
Well, that's a joke.
It's a joke. By technical definitions, it counts.
Yeah, and there's, like, also one of the things that gives you hope for them is that there's the very clear thread of man is the real monster going on here, not just in the you're a gay closeted teenager in a rural town, but also in the, like, this, whatever this weird monster thing is that is sometimes barely controllable. It might never have been an evil thing in the first place until humans made it a dangerous thing.
Yeah.
By making horrible assumptions about who they had to kill and how in order to appease some imagined horrible thing.
Yep.
And then something kind of filled that space. Like, there's a real thread of, like, it, he feels blameless in all of this a lot of the time. And until they fully untangle that.
Just to be clear, also eats people.
Also eats people. But can
Whomstuff,
choose to not eat people.
Whomstuff,
I mean, wanting to eat people is not the same as eating people.
Yeah. And, some people... Anyway, yes, I really liked it the summer Hikaru died. I think it's one of the... Like, I think... Normally, when you want to talk about sharing anime, there's a certain kind of, like, gate you're talking about of, like, do I show this to people or do I show this to anime fans? Anime fans are already going to love this. They already know about this. I think that this is a really good example of a Netflix anime in that you could probably, like, suggest this to an adult who does not like anime, and it will be engaging on its own sake.
Oh, right, yeah. This doesn't present as a horny cartoon for weird kids.
Yeah.
But
you don't have to deal with much, as we call it, anime bullshit.
But also, when you said that, I was like, I wouldn't show this to anyone in my family or your extended family, because they just would not be okay with the meat metaphor fucking.
I think several of my relatives would be totally fine with this, but they're all the cool ones.
Sorry, blood relatives?
Yes.
Okay.
But again, only the cool ones. Definitely not my dad or mum. But my dad and mum watch shows that are about, twee British murders, not, anxiety-driven gay panic murders.
Yeah, I just don't think there's any circumstance in which they get over that aspect of it.
No. Well, that's the thing. This is an anime you can share with normies. My parents are not normies. My parents are freaks.
I mean, normies who are already up for weirdo body horror stuff.
Oh, yeah. But, like,
because that's why I wouldn't show it to my family. They're not homophobic. They just don't want to watch weirdo body horror shit.
This slots into, as a horror fan, this slots well into the genre space of horror. If you're looking to spread your taste in horror and look at some different kind of stuff, this spooky season, The Summer Hikaru Died is a really good, slightly different thing. All right.
Yes. Do recommend. Can't wait for more.
Now, from probably one of the big high concept things to some complete trash.
Hey now!
Betrothed to my sister's ex.
Stavro Reijo wa ane no moto konyakusha ni dekiai sareru.
Yes. What's this about, Fox?
This is a Cinderella story. This is...
You kind of don't need to say anything aside from just repeating the title.
A very lightly fantastical romance. In that, like, it's technically a fantasy romance, but do not expect fantasy shit to happen.
You're going to see a Pegasus.
No. It's a historical romance in a made-up world. Where a profoundly abused and traumatized young woman with this horrible, disgusting red hair, as you can see in these pictures, for which she has been reviled all her life, is lifted out of a horrible, abusive home life by accidentally getting engaged to this slammin' hottie. Except he accidentally proposed to her sister instead. But that's fine, because her sister died while she was meant to go off and meet him. So instead,
Womp
they
womp.
have to send our heroine, who was actually who he was in love with in the first place. So it turns out everything's fine, the end.
Aside from the dead sister.
Aside from everything else, including the fact that, like, this is a realistically traumatized protagonist, and despite how painfully obvious it is that she's fucking gorgeous and really smart,
And well liked.
and immediately liked by everyone she comes into contact with outside of her horrible home life, that she does actually need to develop through this and you know, come to understand herself and accept that she's not in any way undesirable or worthless. And that maybe this man's intentions toward her could be sincere if she's objectively lovable rather than objectively unlovable. I'm not doing it a lot of favors, but that's because its synopsis doesn't do it a lot of favors.
Yeah.
But it's better than the pitch. And in particular, it's better than the stupid title, which sounds like just the horniest bad otome novel kind of deal. Literally, it is not Betrothed to My Sister's Ex or anything like that. It's something like Beloved by My Sister's ex, well, former fiance or whatever, with the subtitle of like, Zutaburo is like shabby. We are given to understand from it's a reference to a book that the character loves, which is about, translated as The Raggedy Red Cat. So this is essentially like, you know, shabby lady.
Yeah.
So that, aside from the title, really not doing it any favors either.
Look, I would like to forward that this is the mirror coin side to Silent Witch. All right? This is a pretty good show. The worst thing you can say about this show is it does nothing it doesn't promise. If you're not looking for exactly what it's describing in its opening episode, then it's just not going to do anything to surprise you. It's not going to introduce, again, no laser swords. You're not going to get like a ghost story. But if you are here for a romantic story about a realistically traumatized Cinderella being uplifted out of her environment by a ridiculously hot dude, then yeah, that's what you get. And the rest of the series is just things that unfold from that. And that's not a bad thing.
I largely agree with you. There's a couple of points on which I disagree, which is mostly that the ending went a lot further than I expected it to. I felt like this had a really strong ending.
Yeah, they didn't chuck any parents off the roof, though.
They didn't murder any parents, which is a bit unfortunate. But
like, Disney sometimes will kill an evil parent by chucking them off the roof. It sometimes happens.
There are a lot of things...
In the good Disneys.
There are a lot of things in shows like this that I spend my time getting really angry about, and I know they will never be, like, resolved or fixed. They will just be stupid things about it forever that won't be addressed because they're not considered to be flaws. And this does a lot of those things right. It is broadly fairly heteronormative. Which is a shame, because, like, obviously, we have a traumatized victim girl, so she is going to be sort of inherently a bit damsel-y, and she is going to doubt herself in a way that makes her useless in a lot of scenarios where she should have agency. But she does really, really get better about that over the course of the series.
Yes.
It's not a case of, like, I'm gonna be like this forever until I get fixed in the last episode.
Yeah.
It's a slow and reasonable development. Some episodes are a lot worse than others. Like, there's a kind of a stupid arena fighting one that's just a whole lot of nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
But there's other ones where she's interacting with her mother-in-law-to-be, who's a really interesting character. The whole concept of... I haven't named either of these characters, have I? Marie is our main character, and Kyros is our hunk. And the whole pitch for him is that he's, like, accidentally become this count who's gonna wind up being the duke because his father didn't manage to have any whiter children. and so, like, because of this, because he has the perspective of someone who is not on the inside of the racism society, he's, like, very accepting, and he has a bunch of people from a whole bunch of nations come and work for him, because he's the only person in a position of nobility who doesn't care whether or not you are, I'm gonna say local, because even though they pitch it as a racism thing, all of the characters we meet in his household who come from these faraway nations and would be disrespected in any other place still are just like a bunch of white guys hanging out with like German names and stuff, and it's quite frustrating because it really lets down that premise. We could have had a really interesting diverse cast here, and it's just him and his mum really who are doing anything out of the ordinary, and that's a bummer. Like, they could have done so much more with that. But at the same time, he's much, much more interesting than the average guy in one of these shows, who is just a prick. And normally the pitch is like, and the guy's like borderline abusive, because you're supposed to find that hot when you're a girl reading romance. And he's not. He is a ridiculous wife guy. He is comically hopeless. And that's kind of a delight. And also, he's just a lot hotter than most of the guys in these shows lately. Long hair anime boys, bring them back.
Yep.
Good season 4. In fact, the whole thing that convinced me to watch this is just that I think both of them are incredibly hot, and I wanted to see them smooch.
Yeah.
And that worked out okay for me. Except that they keep, as soon as they clean her up, they start dressing her in stupid, frilly gowns and shit that neither suit her nor, like, match with her defining feature of having the really bright red hair. They fuck it up a lot, which is part of why I liked the climax so much, because they finally dress her in something that looks good. I made Talen go back and put a picture of it on this slide with this fucking deep, like, blood red number with the green shawl. That's like a floor-length shawl thing she's got around the shoulders with a white lining inside, and it's just fucking gorgeous compared to everything else she's worn so far. Like, yes! Finally! Oh my god! Finally, a number that is actually worthy of this character design. So that made me very happy. This is probably the girliest I've ever been assessing one of these anime. Like, I'm literally talking about fashion.
Yeah. And also, you've forgiven the fact that this is a main character named Mary.
It's Marie.
Oh, yeah, sorry. We don't know any Maries around here.
It's not better. No. This does have... It's got a bit of a name problem.
It's
Look,
got an N.
Hiros is a good fantasy name.
Yeah.
It's even spelled with a Y.
Yeah, except it's a Greek name. There's a
shit.
sign in our main street.
Shit. Oh,
I'm not trying to give you guff about it. I just thought it was funny. Because obviously, this show held you in a way that Silent Witch didn't. Silent Witch is that constant, steady irritation. This didn't have that irritation.
Well, this did have that irritation, but it was based around, like, why is she wearing glass slippers all the fucking time? That's so impractical and painful looking.
It's a fine show. It's genre media. And I think that it gives you exactly what it promises. And for me to sit here and say, well, there's too much cat food in this cat food tin would be fucking stupid.
It's very rare for me to find one of these where the central couple is not repellent.
Yeah, and
this is what I hoped Gorilla Girl would fulfill. Like, just changing up the basic bitch formula enough to be interesting and likable.
It's rare that they bother to make a guy as hot as his partner, and in this case, slightly hotter. And I'm not saying that because she's not hot.
Nope.
Also, they come across as adults, which I know that shouldn't be a thing.
No, it's real nice.
I'm real glad of it.
There's kind of an amusing note where her older sibling is, like, looks half her fucking age, like, reads as a child.
Yeah.
But is in fact older than her. That's part of why he makes the mistake. Yeah, he's like, well, you must be the older one.
But it's also part of the plot. The older sister looking younger meant that sister got babied, and the parent treated them like a doll.
That's the other thing that I kind of like about it. Which is that the Cinderella pitch is a very shallow one, and often goes kind of unexplained. Like, it's just like, everyone hates you and has mistreated you. Why? Because we wanted people to feel sorry for you. And that's as much attention as it gets a lot of the time. But in this, the plot, such as it is, does develop into a mystery about, like, it's not, like, human to do this to someone. And it's, like, the extent to which they have gone out of their way and, like, sacrificed in order to abuse her this much. It's like, that's not something you do. Like, you know, parental abuse doesn't have to be logical, but, like, parental abuse to the detriment of the parent is kind of sus.
What to look for is that parental abuse is typically selfish.
Yes, exactly. So if it starts costing you...
Yeah, if it doesn't advance the parent in some way, then that doesn't make sense. And this show has enough of a brain in its head that it does actually do something with that, and it's not as bleak as it comes across in the pitch. And, you know, it is a good show at what it is doing.
And it makes the whole thing feel a lot less childish, that they haven't just gone, well, she's abused, because that's what happens to heroines in stories, where you want them to then be liberated by a handsome prince.
Yes, but it is still very much the story.
It's still very much
of,
that.
Imagine yourself, girl, reading this light novel by Tobirano and Mai Murasaki, or the manga by Chikage Nakakura, or this, finally, the anime by Land Q Studios.
This also is pretty fucking cheap.
Yeah.
It does the best it can with its budget. Horrible 3D horses.
Yep. Kyrus' prince best friend needs to get kicked off a bridge.
He does. I don't like that they tried to set him up with...
You're dancing around these pronouns. I really love it. It's very clever.
Well, yes. Look, it's always going to be ambiguous in anime where they don't have the character look straight into the camera and say, I'm trans now. But her older, quote-unquote, sister resurfaces with she's got a big sign in the episode where she leaves that says, I am going to become a cross-dressing highwayman.
Yeah.
And it turns out she didn't die. Amazingly.
And then she became a cross-dressing tailor.
Yes, which is not a highwayman, so it wasn't a giveaway.
And uses some fairly typical mask pronouns, but that's more common these days, but whatever.
Look, as far as I'm concerned, we are dealing with a big brother at the end of that anime, and until the character turns around and says, no, I'm definitely still a girl, that was definitely what I chose, and the fact that I continue cross-dressing even now that I'm not forced to, doesn't mean anything in particular, certainly not about my gender.
Yeah. Also,
the prince isn't gay for trying to fuck me.
Sure. The maid. I can't remember her name.
Oh shit! How could I forget her?
Yeah.
Mio.
Mio,
our fucking hero, especially in the early episodes when the heroine just does not have enough stability to be in any way assertive. You remember how we said fucking Monica needed a friend who would just kick a guy when a guy needed kicking? Yeah. That's what Mio is. Yeah. Literally. She is putting guys into headlocks who get too forward about this or just, look like they're gonna try and bully her a bit much. She's perfect and I love her.
Yeah.
I love her despite the fact that she's a maid. Yep. I hate maids.
She's a battle maid, and she's still great.
Battle maid is one of my least favorite anime things, and yet Mio is still perfect.
You would never have expected we'd have this much to say.
Never!
Well, not we. Well, you. You have this much to say about this perfectly good anime.
I'm glad that it was okay.
Yeah.
I'm just really glad that it was okay.
Because, we picked this up expecting to drop it, right?
I thought I was going to get Gorilla Girl again.
Yeah.
To be perfectly honest, I was going to be like, well, I'll see a hot boy, and I'll see a hot girl, and maybe I'll last for a couple of episodes before they piss me off so much I just have to turn them off.
Or before Talen taps out hard.
That's true, because after Gorilla Girl, I was like, no, Talen, you've done it again. You need to just tell me if you want to stop watching something. It's okay. I'm not going to force you. I'm not going to be a bully.
All right. We good? Have we exhausted this?
Let's move on.
DanDaDan!
Oh, it's DanDaDan!
Alright, real quick, this is from the manga by Yukinobu Tatsu, and the anime is by Science Saru.
What if a massive nerd who believes in aliens and a super awesome fucking bad Garu who believes in psychic and ghost shit turned out to both be right and also like a perfect couple, and then they got sick battle powers.
Caught up in a war.
A war?
A war! There's all these battles going on. There's all this fighting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can love bloom on a battlefield?
Yeah. This is the second season of DanDaDan, and just like the first season, the first episode has some uncomfortable sexual assaulty implications
Oh
that
yeah,
I would
that's true.
rather not deal with. So, press the fast forward button a little bit. It's not necessary. You're not missing anything.
The show 100% has enough brain in its head to handle that as well as it can be handled.
It treats it as a horror scene.
Yes, but if you're not okay with that regardless, then that is fine and understandable.
Yeah. DanDaDan is a series about adolescent sexuality.
It
And-
is.
Oh boy.
This
You see a lot of tidy whities in this one.
It's less prominent in this season, I think, particularly in the animation. Like, I talked a lot about how just a lot of the ways they chose to animate things in season 1 was itself a metaphor.
Okay, yes. But what I will say is, as a boy who was kind of scrawny at this age, Okarun and Gigi, for the whole first chunk of this season, are basically spending their whole time doing the inadequacy pose against one another. Like, there is a lot of
Oh, sure, absolutely.
masculine sexuality here. But not in the way of like, behold, my dick, and I'm great. But rather, oh no, what if people think my dick is weird?
You know what? It's because it feels less explicitly about sexuality, because that's also just teenage male anxiety at that age. Because it's inseparable from that.
Yeah, it's heavily rooted in that, yeah.
Yeah.
I think...
And this is, like, going into this, it's framed as if it's a romantic competition.
Yeah.
And it's
not.
kind of not.
It's
yeah.
really not, man.
I mean, I suppose you might... I haven't read the manga, so I had the unfair advantage of Talen going, it's not. But I can see how you might still kind of think it is, because you're used to anime love triangles or whatever. Not you.
Yeah. Well, one
might think.
Yeah.
Still. But it's definitely actually just about the other plot of, like, teenage friendships.
Yeah. And indeed, the way that sexuality gets tangled up in all this stuff. How we view ourselves, how we want other people to view us. You've got effectively you've got 3 arcs in this season. The first one is the resolution of the GG Evil Eye arc, and it involves a gigantic underground worm and mole people. It's great.
Are we gonna get more of our friends infected by some kind of supernatural or sci-fi entity, and then they get to join our awesome battle crew? Yes!
Also, that arc features Okarun and Gigi both being unbirthed in different ways. Again, this is a series about adolescent sexuality.
Yeah, I forgot there was a scene about, like, being torn out of an egg that's also a vagina.
Yep.
By your crush.
Uh-huh.
Who's the girl in this scenario?
There's a lot going on in this series.
Yeah, the imagery is powerful. Still not as powerful as first season, I think, but very, present.
And you can treat the GG part of this as a 2-part arc, because the first you have is the actual battle,
yeah, definitely.
and then you have the resolving the evil eye story.
It's kind of a training arc.
Yeah. And then I guess it's only a single episode or a pair of episodes, but you have an actual training arc where Okarun and Ira go to school and they learn. And so yeah, like that's kind of its own thing, and it's kind of packed around.
It's part of there's like a training arc, and
the
it's
middle,
mostly about Gigi, and then it's about
it's mostly about
Okarun
Okarun,
and
yeah.
Ira at the end as well.
Yeah, and this season, like, it's, I think in part because Momo's just so good, they don't need to do a lot to give Momo room to grow.
No.
She's pretty fucking awesome. And so this season goes introducing Okarun's anxiety about Gigi, and Gigi as a character, Gigi and Okarun learning to contain the evil eye in their own ways. That also involves sick music. And then the third arc, which is the introduction of Kinta from
yes.
From and again, I'm up to date on DanDaDan. I have problems. Kinta is an interesting character because he is a guy who sucks. And I think that the anime adaptation correctly identifies that you do not have enough of a good reason to understand why Kenta sucks, and therefore they show you some flashback scenes and some private scenes that aren't in the manga.
Honestly, he was telegraphed to me slightly by a video with some spoilers that I probably should have waited like 3 extra days before I watched. But he wasn't remotely as bad as I was fearing he was gonna be.
Yeah.
Like, the desperate attempt to have nerds, he's very cringe.
Yeah.
But I was expecting him just to be, shitty incel as soon as he opened his mouth kind of thing. And he's so desperate I can't hate him in that way. Like, he's more pathetic.
Yes, and a big part of that to me, as like having read the manga, one, the story arc is much faster. Because, you've got a story arc where you get to do a Godzilla and a giant robot. And you're Science Saru. You're gonna take your time. It's gonna be multiple episodes. You're gonna show a bunch of cool shit. But the story that introduces Kinta is a little quicker in the manga, and it goes straight into the next chunk where Kinta gets to do a bit more character development. Where in this, they instead go flashbacks, and they show you a couple of things about Kinta. One of which is specifically, he gets bullied for being fat. Which, I mean, you don't need to be told that. He's fat.
No.
Anyone who is fat knows, oh yeah, so he got bullied for being fat, right? But by making it text, it means that it's not shirking from that, and it helps to underscore that, like, he has actually, the fact that people don't like him in the manga when he starts talking about when he starts making dick jokes is because he's embarrassing and he sucks. But the fact that he's like that you don't need any reason to think, oh yeah, well obviously that guy sucks. But the fact that they're able to go up front of like, this guy has a very vivid inner life. He sings and dances to himself on the way home, on the way to school, and then the second there's anyone around him, he stuffs it down. And
that was kind of cute.
This guy has been bullied for his interests, and he's been bullied for his body. Means that, oh, okay, yeah, this guy sucks. But he sucks because he was shaped by his experiences to suck.
I'm not saying you're wrong. No. Obviously, that's your experience with the character. But I didn't need to see him get bullied at all.
No.
I was just expecting him to suck in an offensive way.
Yeah.
But really, it's just that he's cringe.
Yeah.
And I can't hate somebody for being cringe.
And
everyone's cringe.
And he is trying to engage with the conversation that's happening.
Yeah.
Because they are talking about penises and balls.
Yeah, and it's kind of
annoying. Why am I doing the wrong thing here? What's going on?
He's socially incompetent, but, everyone in this show is socially incompetent to some degree or another.
Yeah.
I honestly found Gigi more annoying than Kinta when he showed up and just, made weird, stupid noises all the time and could never just sit down and have a conversation because he had to be performing some kind of stupid... whatever his thing is.
Yeah, but by the way...
I assume we're going to find out more about that.
Oh.
It's not totally clear at this point. We can infer from everything we've seen so far that his deal is that he's a performative insincerity as protection.
To quote the great poet of our generation, Rhys Roper, another class clown acting like a fool to be accepted by my peers.
Yeah.
I would even forward that Gigi is the example of the autistic clown. Like, Gigi doesn't know how to associate with his peer group outside of the clownish behavior, which is why, in private, he still does it around Seiko.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And, I find that harder to deal with than Kinta, who is, comically bad at friending, but sincere.
Yeah.
He is putting it all out there. And I can't find that bad.
Yeah.
I thought he was gonna, immediately start spouting off, cliches about, women be this and, positioning himself as some kind of expert or, doing the whole, incel, there is an objective way to be attractive.
Yeah.
You can attain woman by getting enough points in thing woman-like, because all women like same thing, not have personality.
Yeah.
And, like, none of that happened. So there was just this undertone of relief of, like, no, he's just a fucking nerd. He's just a nerd who can't talk.
Yeah.
He's just a loser.
Yeah.
That's fine.
And to be as fair as I can to, like, he's definitely being inappropriate.
Sure, but he's trying to be appropriate. He's trying to fit the tone. He's just ridiculously misunderstood it.
And he's modeling it on... So you have someone who's bad at modeling behavior, but also the thing he's trying to model is completely unreasonable.
Yeah.
Because his friends are talking about aliens and spaceships, and they are real, and they are talking about teleporting testicles, and none of this stuff... Who has the gears to hit that note?
Yeah. And also, like, no one sort of puts up with it or anything.
Yeah.
It immediately gets put into the weirdo pervert box and
Yep.
treated as such.
Yep.
So there's never an element of like he's getting away with some shit or anything. I don't mind him at all. And I think if people hate him a lot in the manga, that might be because he's fucking fat.
Yeah. Not that I don't know what the audience thinks of Kinta in the
Yeah,
manga.
but think about it for a second, audience. Probably not the audience who's listening to this, because I like to think our audience is mostly better than that. But, you know, internalized fat phobia is a massive fucking thing, so who am I to say that's not a problem?
Don't get me wrong, I think that Ira is annoyed by him because he's fat, but that's because Ira thinks of herself as the main character of reality.
God, I find Ira way more annoying than Kinta.
I joked during this season that every woman in DanDaDan does something reprehensible, and I love them for it anyway. And that's not technically true, because Momo
Yeah, I don't think she's done anything particularly vile.
Momo... The worst thing Momo did was use her psychic powers to bully a normal girl, which... She did it once and it wasn't a big deal.
In defense of somebody else.
Yeah.
You can't bully without a position of power. She didn't have a position of power.
She has psychic powers, Fox. Those are elevate her above.
Social power as well to do bullying.
The point is that Momo is probably the exception, but Ira has done something completely trash. Seiko's done something trash. You don't know the other character in this series, in this season, who has shown up and talked and done stuff, and like, yeah, but you also suck shit.
Well, I know someone who appears to be a girl showed up at the very end.
Yes, we got to see Valmola. She is great. I love her a lot. I wish that this series had a third season we could start watching right away so Fox could learn about her. She's great.
I do like kaiju who are girls.
Now, you know...
Incidentally, I joked about it being a fursuit like 3 seconds before the shot with the zipper.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit! Fuck.
Yeah, I'm keeping my mouth shut the whole time because I already leaked about this show before we ever watched it because I was reading the manga. I was like, hey, this manga's really good. Maybe we'll check out the anime. And Fox is like, I don't know, what's it like? And I tell her some stuff that's in the later series. And by the way, thankfully, I think she's forgotten most of it.
I can't remember whether most of the spoilers I have come from you or Anime YouTube or where in particular. But I think I've said this before. I'm not usually too invested in spoilers because I'm rarely in a show to see what happens rather than to see how it happens and how interesting the characters are while it's happening.
Uh-huh.
So normally I'm not fussed about spoilers, and in some cases they have persuaded me to watch something that I might have otherwise ignored, and that's turned out really well for me.
Opening, ending, absolute bangers.
Yeah.
Not as good as the first one,
but... it's probably true that neither the opening nor the ending is as good as the first season, but how are you going to follow that act?
Yeah. Well,
Christ.
I do think the ending for this season is really good, but like the whole package of the ending, the animation coupled with the song.
Science Saru being extremely Science Saru at this ending sequence.
And the fact that you have Momo is diegetically aware of the ending, so she does a physical version of the throw to the final shot. It's like, that's nice. And it's all with this very sloppy, choppy animation style that's different to the way the rest of the show looks.
Also, I'm pleased with myself for recognizing Aina the End's vocals in the opening.
Yes!
I don't forget someone who sounds like that. Oh well. I mean, I do if I'm just thinking about Gundam songs, but I don't if I'm thinking about Apothecary Diaries.
Yeah, it's properly great show. I really like it. But again, it is also about adolescent sexuality. You're going to see some boobs. You're going to see a lot of Y fronts. And there's going to be talk about what probably is a metaphor for sex.
Oh, holy shit, Segu lets her hair down this season.
Grandma is a very hot grandma.
Also, fuck me, I love when the fucking Visual K group shows up out of
Yep.
nowhere and does the whole fucking wailing guitar shit straight out of X Japan, and
Yep.
I'm in the 90s again, and it's delightful.
And Patterson is there, the white guy with the mustache who has on his bass no talking.
No talking.
It's a really, really fun show.
Also, I am pleased that Gigi's relationship with Evil Eye did eventually come around to what I theorized at first, which is like, oh, well, he's got, like, his power is manifesting as a soccer ball, so they're just gonna play another game of soccer, and that's gonna be how they bond, and, you know, realize that this is, in fact, fun, after all.
Yep.
And the fact that, like, once he's under control, he becomes, like, a misbehaving monster boy at school, which, you know, I mean, who doesn't love that?
Yeah.
Who didn't grow up on Ranma 1/2?
Well, a whole bunch of people, but, you know.
No one in this house!
Yeah, but also a bunch of people are about to start doing it too. Yeah. Shocking no one. DanDaDan, the show that everyone was talking about how good it was, it's really good.
Oh, fuck putting Momo in a maid outfit, though.
Oh.
I hate maids!
I get it. That chapter in the manga is shorter, and also it's very fun. Like, I found it really funny because mostly in the vein of, oh my god, your friends are awful.
Awful!
Remember when I said every woman has done something reprehensible?
Unfriended Momo's friends.
Based on the manga, this is the last time they show up.
I was gonna say, I saw someone lamenting that they don't, that they just kind of vanish. I mean, good! Get out of here!
There's just no
Good friends don't humiliate you in front of a boy.
There's just no room. Alright, we good?
Unless you want them to.
Well,
But I don't think she wants them to.
I don't know if Momo knows what Momo wants yet. Well, we'll find out.
It did lead to a really heartening scene at the end there, which was like a very nice reinforcement of Okuran's like respect
Yeah.
for her. Like, it was, it's a very like boy protects girl cliche romantic moment, but it comes across as something a lot more meaningful because of how he frames it. And because she's just had the shittiest day.
She's had a real shitty day.
And that's why I don't believe she wanted to be humiliated in a maid costume. Because she comes out of that looking like she's had the worst fucking day of her life.
Yep.
And we've seen her be sexually assaulted at least twice.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Oh, also, I just want to shout out the moment after she pulls Okuran out of the fucking vagina egg unbirthing. And the shot, like, you know that moment where we yell at the anime, just hug him, you bastard!
Yeah.
And she fucking did.
Yeah.
And it was my favorite moment of the whole season.
There's
That
a
was
lot of
such a good scene.
there's a lot of well, I mean, the manga does a good job, and Science Saru will never pass up an opportunity to do it, I think, where you will see characters doing something in a very small moment where there's a lot being expressed. To give a sillier but nonetheless comparable example, do you remember the fight, the little bitchy fight she has with Ira shortly after the house is damaged? That shot of them fighting, I don't know if you remember this, it starts at their feet. So you can see that both of them are wearing matching Crocs.
Well, I understand those have sort of taken the place of house slippers for young people.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's like, these two people foundationally are the same. It's like,
I never missed a chance for a visual metaphor.
just nailing that one down, are we?
Yeah.
And we also got more of Mr. Peeny Weeny.
Oh, yeah, business crab.
Yes.
He's no longer business crab,
Business
now he's
crab.
farming crab.
Farmer crab. And Chiquitata.
That's the little kid's name?
Yeah. Alright. Are we good with DanDaDan?
Yes, I can't just keep highlighting individual great things about it. 'Cause we have a limited time.
With You and the Rain.
Ameto Kimito.
This is a manga by Ko Nikaido. It's in the seinen category for Weekly Young magazine, and the anime is by L'Esprit.
Wait, this is it? This is running in a seinen magazine?
This is running in a
This is
seinen.
not a josei?
No.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, my understanding is going out the window. Alright, synopsis of this. Throw me the main character's name again. I
Fuji.
once again forgot. What?
Her name's Fuji.
Her first name?
according to my notes, her name is listed as Fuji.
What's her other name?
I don't know. I didn't write it down.
Christ. Well, I feel like that's not what her friends call her.
Main
But
character.
I don't know, man. Names get skipped over a lot in this show.
Yeah.
Because actually our main character is the Tanuki in the bag there, who has no name.
Well, the Tanuki's name, according to the guide in the manga, is you. As in, the with you in the rain. Sorry, with you in the rain. The you is the dog.
But also is in the pronoun.
Yeah.
Like, it's not used as a name.
Yeah, it's not its actual name. It's just
Yeah.
You.
And like when this animal is discussed in the show, it's always just it. They don't even gender the Tanuki.
Yep.
This is a show about a 20-something-ish novelist lady living alone and trying to find herself as a person and as a professional in that difficult age of I've become an adult and everything's a bit big, who finds, well, I mean, it's right there on the screen, isn't it? Who finds a Tanuki.
A weird dog.
A weird-looking dog in a box with a label that says, "Please take me home, I'm easy to care for." And offers her an umbrella. And so she adopts this abandoned dog. And follows is 12 episodes of hanging around the house with my cute pet, watching it do cute things. Like fucking writing and drawing. Which is definitely the weirdest part of it. I mean, this had me immediately from the premise, obviously. I love Tanuki, they're just dog goblins.
You love Tanuki, you love rain, you love Bar.
I love rain. I love the name of this. It's so artistic and delightful sounding. There's a scene in the trailer where when it's in the box here and she's, you know, popping down to say hello to it and you know, ultimately make the decision to take it home, and she offers it a hand and it pops the little paw up against her with the toe beans.
You made a sound.
I cried a little bit. And then at the end of the first episode, I did again when she's having a hot bath with the window open and the rain outside, and the dog is on the floor in its little tub having a little bath next to her, and they're just talking about how they like the rain, and I just cried a little bit because this is like, that's oh god, I want to do that.
This
We don't appreciate baths enough in this country.
This is an anime that in my mind lives on the very far edge of what you can do. Like, to say this without cruelty, nothing happens.
Yeah, this is a nothing happens anime amongst nothing happens anime.
Yeah.
Even for cute girls doing cute things shows, this one is so low-key you could fall asleep.
Yeah. And that's the point. It is lovely. It is the whole reason you are here is to enjoy something gentle and sweet and that fills you with love. Non-specific love as expressed by a tiny goblin creature that does not appreciate your friend's taste in food.
It's so gentle that even the dog is, like, not nearly as goblin-y as it could be. Like, you know, dogs are like trickster spirits.
Yep.
In mythology, and you know, they're supposed to get up to some shit. They're kind of little, you know, fat little happy troublemakers.
Little rascals.
So, like, you have every excuse to go a bit shenanigansy if you want, but that's just not what this show is here for. This show is just here to go look at the cute thing. It's being cute.
Yep.
Look at your nice friends. They all love the cute thing that's being cute too.
Mm-hmm.
You've made some new friends because they love the cute thing.
Yeah, I don't think that there's a lot to talk about here that wouldn't just be telling you things that happen in the show.
Yeah. What did I want to comment specifically on? I like how they play it kind of coy with the element of illusion involved here.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you notice my bit where I'm saying dog every time. But like, it's very, the Tanuki does have the leaf. The Tanuki is like implied to be using
magic.
The shape-shifty magic. Or is it? Because people kind of see it as being like a lot of people question, is that a dog? But it just always resolves into, of course, it's a dog. And especially when the Tanuki writes a little note that says, I'm a dog.
Yeah.
And then they're
no
like, oh,
that.
yeah, I mean, it's a dog. It's just a dog that can write. That's
Yep.
what a clever dog. So I like that they kept that kind of vague. And it sort of has that just a tiny edge of magical realism to it.
Mm-hmm.
That a lot of Japanese slice of life stuff has, because there's still that sort of undertone of no one believes in the magic-y stuff, but everyone believes a little bit.
Yeah.
Everyone knows it's a tiny bit accurate. And it's very endearing, especially in something like this. Also, her brother's very hot.
Yep.
And I like how they played the dog's voice. In that it's not... Yeah, there's not nearly as much of, human making animal sounds. It obviously is that. But, usually a dog in anime makes, a very fake yip-yip kind of sound and just isn't... It's not very endearing. And, very aggressively fakey. This mostly makes, grunty, snuffly sounds, which are just very cute and much preferable to, a more performed vocal, I guess. It's hard to express what it is about it. That I think people will get the point if they get the point.
Look, when the anime has almost nothing to go for except the characterization and expression of that characterization, the way the thing that doesn't talk expresses itself is pretty important.
It's very important, yeah.
You good?
Also, I like how it does the demanding gesture by going bat, bat.
Yeah, well, you do that.
Very cute. I've done that. Anyway, yeah. In conclusion, very, 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 very gentle. Won't hold it against you if you literally fall asleep.
And Shirley.
It's Aunt Shirley again!
Yeah, we talked about this last season. We finished this core. It's Anne Shirley. It's Anne of Green Gables. It goes all the way to the end of Anne of the Island. Produced by Ansa Studio, directed by Hiroshi Kawamata. Original novel was by Lucy Maud Montgomery, and it was translated in 1952 by Hanako Murawaka.
You probably don't need a re-summary of this, but if you do, orphan girl who almost certainly has ADHD comes to live in a lovely bucolic town and is extra at everything and everyone as she gradually grows up into a mature, smart, competent woman. And, there's some bromance shit on the tail end as well.
Yeah.
It's just an entire life story.
Yeah.
Hang on, I don't know if we coined this last session or not, but it's a life pie. It's not a slice of life.
Yes.
It is an entire pie.
Yeah.
And the second core proceeds exactly as the first one did. Shit's gonna happen. There's a lot happening, so sometimes it just absolutely rockets along.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of myself, I liked the first core better. I liked Anne's story as a kid better. But,
it's necessarily very concerned with romance in the second half, because, if you're not married by the time you're 25, you're...
Yeah, and, she gets married halfway through the book series, and the last two books are about her kids. So, it is kind of important. But, I don't know.
Sure, but not if you're not going to do that bit.
Yeah, I'm not that concerned by it, but,
But it's the central tension of the second half is, will she realize she's been in love with Gilbert forever and all that?
And there is a really interesting set of things to look at with a modern lens there. Particularly, I like the notion that Anne isn't connected to her feelings about romance because her primary method of understanding people is through books. And
yeah.
As, demonstrated by, her, the outbursts as a kid. Lots of neurodivergent stuff going on there. But, other than that, it's just a perfectly competent, not particularly interesting, I'm very sorry, finale that's also showing you a bunch of really beautiful illustrations of Canadian wilderness. So, yeah, sure.
It does remain very lovely to look at.
Yeah.
and surprisingly gentle. Like, we do have another dark moment in this core, where we get another significant character death. But
well, we get a character death.
like a named character, not just death exists in the world, but like someone I care about dies, even if she wasn't that important to the story.
Yeah.
But, like, once again, compared to the amount of grief I expect from this kind of story, like, I think I said to you when I was talking about it, I thought they were going to bridge to Terabithia one of the kids when they were kids, for sure.
Yeah.
I definitely thought someone was getting polio or something.
Davey has a death flag.
Well, not Davey, because that's like, he's too much of a shit. I wouldn't care if he died.
But
like, one of the friend group, and then, that's the point where they all have to realize that they're not going to be kids forever and mortality exists and all that.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't have a lot to add. I think that, I think the first half is better. It's still good. You should watch it all. Ta-da!
Yeah, if you liked it enough to watch the first half, you're probably going to like it enough to watch the second half.
Good for the next?
Yeah.
All right, then. Here we have the Yenas and the Nayes. This is just stuff we looked at and considered to watch this season, and for some reason or another, ditched on. They are Detective These Days Are Crazy, Necronomicon and the Cosmic Horror Show, Clever Tess and Arnights. I figured I might watch Arnights on my own at some point, but there's no strong pull beyond, did that people making that game make a good anime? Whatever.
Probably not. Necronomico was like, I remember being kind of interested in the premise, but the character designs are just like way too wacky.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I'm interested in that kind of energy right now.
Yeah.
And Detectives These Days Are Crazy, I ultimately just decided I didn't want to give it the chance to be creepy.
Yeah.
Because I've seen too many older guy, high school girl kind of shows. And, like, it probably doesn't go there. But if it does, I don't want to fucking see it. And, like, it wasn't interesting enough that I was going to take that chance. So I just went, who cares?
It's been a good year for mystery series. It would have to be truly shockingly good, and I don't think it would be. And also, the second season of Call of the Night.
Stuff Talen will definitely watch, but Fox isn't into.
Well, kind of. Penny and Stocking with Garter Belt, I'm probably going to watch that with a friend.
Well, you really liked Call of the Night, right?
I really liked
You're
Call of the Night.
definitely going to watch the second season.
Yeah,
right?
but also I watched Call of the Night on my own.
Yeah.
And I had nothing else going on.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Stuff Talent is definitely going to watch, but Fox isn't here for.
Same thing with Rascal Does Not Dream of Santa Claus. I read the manga of Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai, which doesn't cover everything the anime does, but it's like, there's an interesting premise here. That's kind of cool. Maybe one day I'll watch the anime and like get the whole story.
Yeah, we might check out Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl at some point, because like I'm not disinterested in that. Seems a little horny, but very nicely produced. So.
And a little bit smarter than you'd think, given the premise.
Yeah, sounds smarter than you would expect from looking at it. So I'm curious. For Matt Kitchen, we did actually try an episode.
Yeah, we watched an episode, and it looks cheap and it sounds dumb.
It's I wanted it to be something like the idea of centering a cooking anime around trying to math it out because you're very, very normal brain. That is interesting to me.
Yep.
But, like, it's a pretty ugly show, and like not just the characters aren't hot, but like it's pervasively cheap in a way that does actually bring it down. Not like the way Zataburo and Silent Witch are like kind of cheap, like just a little bit cheaper than they really deserve. This was so cheap it was off-putting.
Yeah. Also, Fermat Kitchen runs into the problem for me where it's the same thing that you will have whenever you watch someone coding in an anime or a TV show. It's like, you don't know what you're doing. And the writers don't know what you're doing. So, I guess so. Whereas, like, the thing is, in the real world, there are people who have to get a math degree to do their job as a cook. That is a real, consistent thing.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Is it because you have to make an equation that develops the most delicious spaghetti?
No, it's because you need to feed 1,500 people on this fucking boat.
That's a very different vibe.
Yes. But the point is like, what if math and cooking got together and wouldn't that be an interesting new way to view either? Like, yeah, if you don't know anything about either.
I would say it's substantially different to the real world usage in that it's still an interesting proposal.
Yeah, but like fundamentally, yeah. Ooh, can you use math in the kitchen? Yeah,
Yeah.
all the time.
I mean, you do.
Constantly.
You are.
What do you not cook? And Night of the Living Cats. I feel like you get the joke in that show just looking at the poster, and if it doesn't seem to be offering anything beyond that, like you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, the premise sort of made me go, haha, and I was like, oh, I'm never gonna laugh at it more than I just did, am I? So,
Nah.
okay. Yeah.
All right.
I don't know. In a lesser season, I might have watched it, but there was too much actual interesting stuff this season.
Though again, not enough laser swords.
Not enough laser swords. It was another season where almost everything good was some amount of slice of life.
Uh-huh.
Like, even the two fantasy shows, like, one of them wasn't really fantasy at all, and the other one spent a lot of time being school stuff instead.
Yeah, and like, you know, Call of the Night. That's cool vampire stuff. It has a character that I think is genuinely really cool. But you know, it has the disaster vampire hunter as well, who will make lesbians have reactions. And it might even have the Otokonoko who actually gives an explanation of what demisexuality is.
Hot damn.
And you know, he's really cool. It's great. But like, it's 13 episodes deep, and you don't want to watch it. And I'd much rather be watching anime with you right now.
Well, you're gonna have a fun time when I'm not around.
Yeah. Like I like with Ballpark, same thing. It's just yeah. Which means we are now coming to Turkey.
Oh yeah, there was one that we hadn't done yet.
Time to strike.
Right.
And I'm putting this at the end because I really am not fucking joking about the spoiler warning. And like when you were reading the spoiler card, you forgot that this was here in the presentation.
I did.
Because you're like, oh, we should definitely make it clear. There are definitely spoilers in Turkey. All right? You've heard our opinions about everything else. If you want to watch Turkey without knowing anything more about it, you should stop this video now and put in the comments that that you stopped at Thanksgiving.
Today, in fact, I heard someone describe this as, I watched Turkey because I wanted to watch a bowling anime, so I stopped.
Yeah. Now, spoiler warning given. People are ready to go, okay? Anyone who's still here is still here.
Yeah, it's your own fault now.
Turkey, Time to Strike is an original anime by Tatsunoko Productions and Pony Canyon, directed by Susumu Kodo and Naomi Hirata. Lots of live-action dramedies under their belt, with music by Yuki Hayashi, who is the music director for Haikyuu, My Hero Academia, Sakamoto Days, and Wave Listen to Me.
Yeah, alright. So this is an anime about a high school bowling team and the frustrations and conflicts between them arising from the captain's seeming inability to keep her shit together long enough to actually win a game. Tournament. Tournament. Yeah, whatever. And the new girl who's hot shit being unable to sort of deal with everyone else's like laid back incompetence and inability, like lack of a desire to get any better about it. And you know, it looks like maybe the team is gonna break up, so they get together to, you know, have one final game to like challenge the captain to actually be able to fucking win, or the new girl to like back down and let everyone just have fun the way they want. And then they get time travel isekai'd into the fucking
Sengoku
Jidai, and they each have a color-coded counterpart in a village that exists in the past, exactly where their hometown is now, who are a very deliberate reflection of their own character flaws and emotional issues that they need to grow and develop past in order to return to their own time.
Who have also invented bowling.
And, you know, there will be a lot of talk about trying not to change history, and just so you know, that's fucking nonsense.
Yeah, they give up on that real fast.
Boy, I flip-flopped on this a lot.
Yep.
It's intriguing when you hit the twist, and then you're like, well, I have no fucking idea where this is going.
When you hit the first twist.
Sure. I don't know if I would call the last bit a twist, since I did definitely see it coming.
There are, in my opinion, structurally speaking, let me present this then. There are 4 twists in this series. Okay? The first one is, surprise! It's actually a time travel isekai.
Uh-huh.
The second twist is, this character's gender is not what you think. The third twist is, there are other time travelers, who have also fucked with the time stream and have also fucked with your lives.
Look, we don't know that part's true.
What?
The show plays it quite vaguely on whether or not it's the whole thing is a stable time loop or if time has actually been changed.
Okay, so someone's dad disappeared.
Yeah.
Into the time stream.
Yeah.
And that affected them. That's what I mean.
Oh, okay. Not affected the past.
No. But also the fact that they were there in the past affected whatever.
I mean, the whole idea of trying not to affect the past is nonsense. It's like, either you exist in a world where it's got to be a stable time loop by the laws of causality, or you don't, and there's literally nothing you can do to stop from changing things.
Yeah. Then you have the fourth big twist, which is they get back to the future, to the now, and decide to go back again. Now, I know there's a final fifth twist, but, like, that's the one that, yeah, sure, whatever. That I noticed that.
Well, it's also that one, but
like...
I was referring to the going back again one. Like, that was absolutely going to happen as soon as they left.
The whole series has under its hood a lot of reliance on the ideas it's presenting being surprising. And that's part of why I put it behind the double spoiler warning. Not out of respect for, like, the audience being like, oh, no, you can't handle this, but just because, like, I think this series really wants you to be surprised.
Yeah, and, like, the surprise is, like, pretty important.
Yeah.
If you care about spoilers at all, you definitely wouldn't want it spoiled. So I think, like, warning is fair.
It promises a much darker, grislier, honestly, more interesting story with its opening than I think it deserves. But, yeah, it's an interesting show.
There was an awful lot of stop pretending you're gonna do it.
Yeah.
You're not gonna do it, show, come on, you're not gonna do it. But then at the same time, the ending was, like, a lot more kind of dark and miserable than I thought it had really earned. Well, not the ending, but the climax.
The finale, yeah.
Was, like... I mean,
dumb.
It's stupid.
Yeah.
It's quite contrived, and the villain kind of swings wildly from being cackling evil to actually I'm honorable. Like, to the point where there was, like, one episode where 3 times I flipped back and forth on, oh wait, is he supposed to be, like, not a bad guy necessarily? No, that's definitely cartoon evil.
Yeah, it's not...
No, but now you have honorably defeated me, and... jeez.
Yeah, and this is the part of the problem with that reliance on the twists, in that... In around episode 5, Sayori practically kills a man with a rock.
Yeah.
And that's great, and she's great, and they handle it like it's an actual emotional moment, and, like, there's a real tension around what does it mean to have facilitated someone dying?
Is this meaningfully different from having killed someone?
Yeah.
Does this count?
And then the finale is like, oh, well, we don't kill anyone and we're going to fool everyone with fireworks and sparklers and a drone. A fucking drone! But then we're going to make it into a game.
But then also that doesn't work and it's the stupidest death game ever conceived.
Yeah. The ending is really badly botched, which is a shame because, like... Again, it just promises a better series than it is, but also at the same time, like, oh, well, an anime that ends badly. And, but then I think, hang on, Watanabe is in this season, and Watanabe's ending kills. And this show doesn't have a manga to serve. This doesn't have a light novel it needs to follow through on. Your ending could have been any goddamn thing. You chose this.
It also has the huge problem of like the final twist. Okay, really final spoiler warning now. But the final revelation that the color coded counterpart of the main character,
Suamomo.
Just Sumomo, isn't it?
Possibly. I copy pasted from Wikipedia, so.
Turns out to be the amazing woman who made her life worth living after her parents died by adopting her and raising her. because she accidentally got time slipped to, like, I don't know, 20 years beforehand.
Yeah.
Somehow. And they were like, oh, she woke up with amnesia, so she didn't really know. But then they go, and as soon as she saw little baby main character with her pink bowling ball, everything came back to her. So she's known the whole time that this was gonna happen, and that there would be this ridiculous conclusion with her whole family gonna be executed, and all this kind of nonsense. And, like, at no point on the fated day did she, like, slip a note into the main character's gym bag or anything, just going, by the way, some weird shit's gonna happen, don't worry, when you get there, tell me this. Like, if they had just said, you know, she remembered too late to do anything about it, it would have been a really different thing. But instead they accidentally kind of stuck in a framing device that makes her look really bad.
Ultimately, this is a show that is just a little shy of what it wants to do.
Yeah.
And I appreciate the big swings, but it also has to compete with some other much smarter stuff, even in the trash girls who like girls, deniably Yuri, sports gaming stuff recently. Turkey is cursed to have a novel first episode twist, and the rest of the series deflates a little.
Yeah, overall pretty mid.
That said, little detail about it. All the historical cast worked on Ranma 1/2. It's just a kind of a nice reunion, and the particularly creaky voiced older woman is the original voice of Shampoo, who's like 68 now.
I really liked her design.
Yeah.
She does have a very cool aunt vibe.
Yeah.
I liked I really liked the late season pivot from we must try not to change anything to fuck history, it sucked.
Yeah.
Let's go save people.
What can we do to save people?
A necessary element of any time travel as far as I'm concerned. You know, it's difficult because Terry Pratchett did it perfectly, you see, and that sets a very high bar for everyone else, but...
Yeah.
I don't think I'm allowed to talk about this for much longer because suddenly my throat is hurting and I'm not sure I can keep it together. So...
That's okay. Because the next panel is our final thoughts. You got any? Well, Fox is getting a drink. That's where we're at. We have given you, of all of ourselves, 2 hours, 3/4, and some change talking about a season of anime that was, while I'm thinking about it, pretty good.
Yeah, I thought this was a strong season. There were a lot of things I was interested in. I didn't drop anything, unless you count for Matt Kitchen.
Wow.
Which we were only dipping a toe into. I did not legally acquire any of that show. We tried it out first.
Uh-huh. But at the same time, very low laser sword quotient.
Another season of slice of life stuff, which was kind of a bummer. Please increase the number of sword fights by at least 50%.
Yeah. Really, really good time, and I got to spend it with you, which was wonderful and fun.
That's always a delight.
And I'll see you tomorrow at the food court.
Unlikely, but I'll see you tomorrow in the kitchen.